Hiya.
Hello out there. Since I know we have some new people in the stream tonight, there's a few of you folks there. So take a moment here to introduce yourselves. My name is Baron Engel, and of course this is Caradwin over here. And he's the guy who makes all technology happen on these Saturday nights. So
I push buttons.
He pushes buttons in very special ways. And because he does
I
that...
push buttons in ways.
Yeah,
I push people's buttons.
Exactly. But he makes things happen. So, welcome to the show.
Alrighty.
Mm-hmm.
So, for folks who are new and folks who are old, one of the things that we start off our show with every week is brain lubricant.
Yes.
Baron needs brain lubricant to make his brains do art things. So this week's brain lubricant is the Whiskey Sour.
Actually, Frank, there will be some Dreamscape postings coming up in the relatively near future where I will be starting Patina's great idea for cloud manipulation for advertising. So yes, Sweet Apple Acres is Patina's first customer.
So let us make a Whiskey Sour. Whiskey Sour is one of the oldest cocktails. I'm going to switch the view over to here
To
for
the bar camera.
up.
Bar camera.
And Whiskey Sour is made with, with whiskey, lemon juice, some kind of sweetener, and optionally, what we're doing tonight is an egg white.
Yes. Now, yes, it's a raw egg white.
Standard disclaimer.
Yeah, standard disclaimer. Make sure you have clean, fresh eggs, all that kind of stuff and everything. Also, don't saw your leg.
Right.
But
don't use your thigh as a cutting board.
Caradwin here's a professional.
Yeah, I cut myself professionally.
That's right.
So, what you got here is got half a lemon. We'll load that in here, and I'm going to go like that, the whole bunch. Then I'm going to take.
Good to see you too, Cretius.
Alrighty.
All right, now simple syrup.
Simple syrup. Simple syrup is basically just water with a ton of sugar in it, so it was thick and gloopy. So thick and gloopy, and there we go. About a shot of that. And then what we want is about 2 shots of some kind of whiskey. A fairly sweet bourbon works well.
I like Maker's Mark.
Maker's Mark is good. So gonna go 1.
Evening, Sam. Glad you could join us.
Just in time for the cocktail. There we go. Don't spill out all over the place. I'm so good at that.
Yeah.
That's why everybody has the bars down below them as opposed to behind them in front of a studio. All right, so now, here's the fun part. Le ouf. Fortunately, I have a place to dump the yolk because we only want the white.
Yeah.
So I got to be careful with this. Crack it. No shell. No yolk. There we go. You sort of go back, forth, and there. Here we go. Come on, egg yolk. All right, egg white. You can do it. You can do it. Yeah.
That's a little acid membrane there. We may not want to come along for the ride.
Yeah, that's good enough.
That's good enough. All right.
And then,
we'll use that egg yolk for something else tonight.
Yeah. So, in order to not deafen you folks with the sound of this, I'm going to turn off the mics for a second, or at least most of them. Now, you notice I did that without the ice. The reason for that is the proteins in the egg, you want it to get nice and frothy first, then put in, put in some ice. We want a little bit more, a little bit of ice. Here.
Shake again. Ta-da. No, Frank, we deliberately have turned the mics down for a moment here. Yes, sir. The audio is off, down for a moment. We'll be turning it back up again. Okay.
And the mics are back. We did that because the sound of the cocktail shaker can sometimes blow out people's ears, and we don't want to blow out your ears.
No, that's not the whole point. Now, there's actually some last minute things he has to do.
Couple of last minute things.
Yes.
Sweet.
One for the bartender.
My favorite. And,
You used to drink the juice, didn't you?
oh, used to?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, used to.
Actually, one of the advantages, and why I asked specifically Carrot to do this tonight, is that this is the classic recipe, is to have the egg white in it. And usually when you go into bars for various health reasons,
Health code weenie.
yes, they will not do the egg white just for safety. There is possible risk if you are not careful about, put a couple dashes of those guys in. But what it does, by adding the egg white, it smooths the drink out. If you don't have the egg white in a whiskey sour, it can be just a little bit sharp on the edges.
Yep. So that is brain lubricant.
But with the egg white,
There's you guys.
yeah, with the egg white, it gives it a nice, much more evened out flavor.
Absolutely.
There's actually a couple of the classic cocktails that have egg whites in them.
Oh yeah, yeah. There's all kinds of them. I mean, you can do a brandy Alexander that way.
Yes.
A lot of them have substituted cream for egg whites to get that texture, but it's not the same.
It's not the same. If you add the cream, it's a bit heavier and thicker. This has that kind of light, almost like meringue type quality to it.
Absolutely. Have I got up to the interval in San Francisco? Nope. It's a good cocktail bar though.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty, so now that Baron has his brain lubricated, let's take a look at what he's been up to for the past week art-wise.
Hey, Rebel. Glad you could join
Rebel.
us.
I'm going to do this. And I'm gonna do
Look at that. All right. Jump onto that right away.
Yes, you've been doing a lot of yoga. Your friendship is yoga stuff, and particularly with those two.
Well, that actually kind of happened as an accident. I've been doing the Friendship is Yoga sketches because I've been wanting to really push myself on my figure drawings and really understanding how a body can bend and move, but at the same time make sure the joints stay all in the correct place and everything. And I originally just did one sketch, and it produced another sketch with Discord and Flourish, and then produced another one with Discord and Flourish, and there's that old commercial from the 1970s about hair shampoo. You tell two friends, and so on and so on and so on. Well, it kind of spiraled, and Patina kept on popping up with all kinds of great ideas in my head.
Yeah.
So, and they seem to be very, very popular. 2 of the 4 I put up on the Smudge Marks Engel Works online store have already sold. So you folks obviously like them.
Yep. So there's a third one there.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And those of you who are horse people will be able to read certain things into the body language. But
Yes.
No, you'd be right.
Now, the first sketch, very platonic. This one, not so platonic.
Exactly. They are very friends.
Yes, they are.
And so let's see what else I got here. And you just have this thing lately about Fluttershy.
Well, I hit 500 followers on Twitter. And yeah, thank you very much. I know some of you are now following me on Twitter, and tell your friends and whatnot. And since really the push that kind of moved me into 500 was the series of Fluttershy drawings, Patina thought, well, she was part of the reason why I got the 500. She should be part of the celebration.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Let's see, but you do some other stuff aside that. How about a little bit of Moo?
Yeah. Don't know anything about this character yet. Once again, this popped up in one of my dreams. Was getting ready to go into the Equestria Dreamscape, and we were in the staging area, and Patina was going through some stuff on a monitor. And that character was on the screen, and I asked her about that character. And she says, well, it's someone's going to show up. That's all she'd say, and left it at that. And then, we went on to other things.
Alrighty. And part of things have been going on, but we're going to start to move towards your, well, actually, let's do this stuff first. Princess Cadence is an adventurous one here.
Well, yes,
Yes, you can read that comic book later, Shiny.
Yeah, you've read it already 3 times.
Yeah.
The story's not going to change.
Yeah, there was one comment on the posting is that if his eyes followed that comic, he'd be dead now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, here, close up.
Well, I mean, they are parents now.
This is good, clean, married. Yeah, okay, yeah,
Newlywed fun.
yeah. Well, I get the suspicion this is going to last a lot longer than the 30-day honeymoon.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's see. And you do Shining Armor actually not as a buffoon. What a concept.
Well, the way I, at least in cartoon, again, this is my head canon. It's not official or anything like that. But Shining is one of these individuals who has a very compartmentalized life. When he's not basically having to command people, he's a very laid back and easygoing guy. He's basically, Twily's big brother.
He's totally a dude.
Totally dude. But when he puts the uniform on, he is
somebody else.
He is an officer, and he understands how how to divide those parts of his life up. And yes, when he wants to Orca, Shining can give Arlie Ermy a really good run for the money as far as rattling windows with his voice.
Oh yeah.
Hi, Green Plasma. Is this your first time here?
Hello, Green.
Yes.
We also see Howl is new. Hello to Howl.
Mm-hmm.
And we had a couple of others.
Spicy Paprika, I think is new.
Yeah, let's see. Do we have anybody else that's new here, by the way?
We're just going to scroll through all the list of people. Well, a lot of you folks already. Oh, there's the...
Yeah, I think that's... Safe House 666, I think, is new.
Yeah, so all you folks, welcome to the stream.
All right, we're just showing off what Baron's been doing the past couple of weeks, then I'm going to make some new stuff.
Yep, exactly.
And what we have here is...
Hey, Jarrell.
Is one of the great activities of farm life, pulling stumps.
Bumps, yes.
Usually we get to use explosives.
Yeah, or of course you'll use also lots of saltpeter sometimes, which
I like explosives better.
Which I didn't know about. Of course, this is one of the things that this happened in my... This is sketches from my dreams. And actually it was very interesting that after I posted this drawing, I had someone on DeviantArt approach me who apparently actually works with draft horses and said, okay, this is how you really actually would do it. This is how people who, Blackbird from the city, that's me, think you would go about doing it. But she says there are some ways actually, and we're going back and forth now and having a series of conversations and everything like that about, how you'd go about pulling up a stump. Of course, after I sketched this, I also came across a YouTube video that showed the old-fashioned way of levering one of those things out of the ground.
Yeah, well, the biggest thing is cut damn roots.
Yep.
All right, so now getting on to more serious stuff from your dreamscapes.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. I think that one's the first one, right?
No, the Following Leads is actually the...
Following Leads.
I sent that one to you. I know I did.
Okay, let me see if it's in this folder. Maybe
Hang on a moment here. Stand by. There we are.
There we go. Yeah, I put it in the wrong folder. Okay.
There
we go. Boom.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, these are ladies in waiting, as it were.
Mares in waiting, yes.
Yes.
These are some of Celestia's troubleshooters.
Yes, with Phoenix on the right is the shootiest.
Yes. Well, you're going to learn more about her background over the next few months. But these are three of the most trusted mares that Celestia has in her court. They are technically her mares in waiting. And, Bloodfeather, she knows a thing or two about how to style manes and tails, and maybe knows something about arranging flowers and everything, but they really do other work than that.
So they are dark ops.
Exactly.
All right. And there's one particular op that, there we go.
Yes.
That, Phoenix can is a very good combat teleporter, and she has one other talent too.
And she's not afraid to use explosives. Now, the Unicorn Stallion, who's being
visited,
rudely woken up as Desk, is Broken Beaker. And if some of you folks have been following my Dreamscape postings on this, you'll know that back when the whole thing with the Griffin who broke into Celestia's office and they were trying to figure out what happened, and he had those wards and they weren't certain how he got them, and then he escapes and of course he gets killed. But Phoenix had commented that she had tracked the Griffin back to a unicorn in Philadelphia by the name of Broken Beaker. This is Broken Beaker, so they're bringing him in for basically questioning. This is being conducted without the knowledge of the local police or authorities. Celestia said, I don't want you guys contacting them, so they're having to run really kind of on the ragged edge. It's a snatch and grab operation.
The problem with going after, say, an underground alchemist is that he has some explosives of his own and
Yes.
is skilled in quickly deploying them.
Right, and of course they're gonna grab him, get him out, and things didn't go quite according to plan, and he actually succeeded in throwing basically a simple early hand grenade at the three.
Yep.
Bloodfeather and Quicksilver got out of the area, but Phoenix didn't have a teleport ready at that moment.
Yep.
All she could do is throw up a force shield.
Yes, which almost worked.
Yeah.
Yeah, the thing is that she heals very, very fast. That's kind of sort of her special power, as it were.
Mm-hmm.
And so she survived it, but that doesn't mean she was happy about it.
Nope. She was. It's a blessing and it's a curse, literally, for her. And you'll find out a little further down the road exactly what that entails. But it does have one advantage. If you get half your face blown off and it regrows back again, and
sometimes you can get rid of scars that way.
Exactly. And she has literally on a couple occasions, had instances where it's like, I look better afterwards.
Yeah. Now this is one of my favorite pieces that of yours that you've done recently, because I really, really like how you did Celestia here.
Yeah.
She came out just right to both have the beauty, the gravity, and personality, and again that's all to do with the angle, the head tilt, the whole bit.
Yeah, like I said, I describe her and Luna when you're in their presence is like how Tolkien described the elves. They're fair and terrible to behold. I mean, you are in their presence, you go, dang, I'm out of my league.
Yeah, and this is the after action briefing of basically. Yeah, that was almost a broken operation. You got him, but please don't do it like that again.
Yeah. And now several people
like explosives. Thank you.
Now several people have commented on the fact that wow, why do they do this? Why do they do that? We do these things. You gotta remember, in my Dreamscape and headcanon, it is very much more like how Lorne originally envisioned, late 19th century. So
SWAT is not an art and science
no.
yet. Yeah, you improvise going in and improvise going out.
72 Olympics have never happened. They were running understaffed. In fact, Celeste even states that that she would have preferred to have sent a couple more operatives along with. That she's basically throwing the cast in this wide net. She's trying to figure out what's going on. Why was this Griffin able to break into their office? She doesn't realize it yet, but she is trying to find out about the changelings.
Yep.
But she's going to find out soon.
Meanwhile,
back at the changelings.
Say somebody's getting his action orders.
Yes, this is the changeling who is impersonating Corporal Trotter of the Royal Guard in the palace at Canterlot, and he was the one who organized the whole setup for the Griffin, Rakurna, to basically break in and get captured, because they wanted to find out exactly how good Celestia's defenses were, and then arranged for them to be that Griffin to escape, and then that Griffin to basically be
cleaned
silent.
up.
Yep. And operation was all done, and he's a relatively low operative at this point, but he's come to the attention of the Queen. Queen Chrysalis.
And all of a sudden, he's got himself a field promotion, and that isn't necessarily all that comfortable.
Right, and he has been given basically the task of organizing the operation, which will result in
a threat has been made against Canterlot.
Yes. Well, more broadly, the capture of Cadence and Chrysalis substituting in.
Yep.
And so he has to organize the operation on how it's going to go.
All righty. And that catches us up to now. And I'm going to do this. 1, 2, 3. Bam. No bam. There's the bam.
Yeah. And actually, that would probably be a good time to talk about our sponsor.
Exactly. We actually have a sponsor. Those guys right there.
Yep.
Yeah, University Arts. High-end framing shop and art supply shop here in San Jose. Baron worked there for about 20 years.
That's right. And
excellent folks.
And when I parted company, I parted on very good terms. I don't know whether he happens to be lurking in the video tonight, but Mike, my store manager, approached me this last year about, hey, would you like to have a sponsorship? And I said I would love to. I still love the store. They have some great people working there. They've got some great materials. They are going through the process of rebuilding their on-store website. So when they get that all up and running, for all you folks who don't happen to live in the San Francisco Bay Area or the Sacramento area, you can still use University Art for your one source for art supplies.
Tastes great, and look at that shine.
Exactly.
All right.
Okay.
You know what it's time to do?
It's time to make more new art.
New art. We like new art.
Yes.
So what are we doing tonight?
Well, tonight we're going to take care of some Patreon rewards. Some of you folks may be new, haven't followed me before, haven't heard this pitch. Let me give it to you right here and now. I do art for a living. I don't have a day job. Like I said, I worked at University Art for 20 years until coming up on my 2-year anniversary in May. And so I make my living off of my art.
I make my living in the evening news. So I guess over here.
So, hang on a second there. There. All right, so I can see chat. So, one of my major sources of income is Patreon. And Patreon and my patrons have been very, very supportive of me. You can see a little Patreon link actually in one corner of my page. And for as little as $1 a month, you can have an actual impact on what happens in my life. If everybody on DeviantArt gave me $1 a month, I would be...
You'd have a bunch of bucks.
I'd have a bunch of bucks. That's right, exactly. So that is a very important thing. Now, what I'm going to be working on first tonight, and I know he's in the stream, is McClaw, because McClaw sent me in one of his, a couple of requests, and one of them tickled my fancy, so I'm going to do Rosemary with the big red ball. Now, a little bit of background on this is that when I was taking, our glasses are on, Cat's Paw. When I was taking oil painting lessons back in the 1980s, back when my hair was still black, the art store...
Back when I had hair.
Yeah, the art store I was taking the lessons at, one of the ladies happened to have 2 skunks as pets. One was, had glands removed. That was Rosemary, and yes, I'm pretty certain that's where my... Mine got the idea of Rosemary the skunk, besides the fact that there was one girl in high school who I had a crush on, and her name was Rosemary too. But that...
Funny how that works.
Yeah, but that Rosemary happened to have, the skunk, had this red ball that was pretty good size, way bigger than I could put in its mouth, but would push it around with its nose.
Playing soccer.
Yeah. So I'm going to do a picture. He wanted to have a picture of Rosemary with a big red ball.
All right.
Your class is clean. When did that happen? I brushed it off before we went live tonight.
What a concept.
There
we go.
Okay, I'm going to move this here. I got the paper's kind of awkward. I'll get that kind of straightened on the surface. There we go. All right.
Evening this up. Here we go. Perfect.
We're all good? All right, let's go live on this.
All right. And so, again, since we do have a few new folks here, Baron works... probably 90% of what he does is traditional art.
I'm learning the digital thing very slowly.
But again, it will start off looking very, very light because he puts down very light construction lines here, although I think I can push some contrast here to maybe bring that out a little bit. Wiki. And when he does his color work, which he does like every other show, it is something to see. He has a unique colored pencil style that ends up looking like acrylics. It's really amazing.
Yes, in fact, there is one, I was hoping to have it all set up and ready to show you guys tonight, but I'll just have to show it to you on the next stream, which is going to be April 1st, folks. Yes, April Fool's Day. You can join the fools and watch them do art. I will be able to show that, and I'll have it up on DeviantArt and everything before then. Okay, so let's just get some basic, where things are going to be going. And what I'm just doing right now is I'm just kind of setting up things like, okay, where is the shoulder blades going to be? Where's the arms? Where's my arm length? Let me make that arm a little bit longer.
Yeah. And a reminder on the paper being used is actually a particular type of printable cardstock, cover stock.
Yeah, it's a digital paper you can get. I'm actually exploring a couple of other options. Kelly Paper in Santa Clara actually is being very, very helpful, and they're giving me lots of feedback. And I may actually be changing brands in the future. Maybe I should be getting something even better. It's going to cost me a little bit more, but it might even give me better results. So.
Yeah. But the nice thing about using cardstock instead of and cover stock instead of like pads of Bristol is that even on the most expensive stuff you can find, the cost per sheet is still tremendously less than the pads you get from like Strathmore, etc.
Right. I mean, University Art sells some great, and for finished work, colored pencil work and everything, I prefer to use Strathmore 400 and 500 series Bristol. But when I'm just doing these quick sketches, this is actually from Spring Hill Digital, and I get 250 sheets for about $10. And you folks can do the math and figure out how many pads of paper I would have to. This is about 25 sheets to a pad of drawing paper. How many pads I would have to buy, and those run about $11 a pad at this size to get the same number. So this is a very good buy, and it takes shading really, really well. The only downside of it is that when it comes time to scan the images, I have to do a little bit more digital manipulating to get rid of some of the interesting effects that happen.
All right, there we go. Okay, yeah. Actually, Chris just brought up something that brings up an opportunity to let folks know. If you take a look at your calendar, every other weekend we do the show. Of course, next weekend is going to be, as you said, April Fool's.
No, the weekend after, 2 weeks from now.
The 2 weeks rather, and 4 weeks from now is BabsCon. So obviously that's not going to be a show weekend. So we're going to offset the schedule, and run a show beforehand, and there may be a special show coming up. Depending upon when somebody, I'm looking at you, is he here? Yes, I'm looking at you, Robert.
Yes.
Shows up here. We may do a special show, and that may be a good time to stream with Cretius.
Yes.
It will be a Rome-themed show.
Exactly.
With Clear Skies, the author of the game. We can maybe multi-screen with Cretius, who has done many of the illustrations in it, and it'll be a special show.
Mm-hmm. And because Clear Skies is going to be coming out for BabsCon. We have a panel at BabsCon. We're going to be talking about the Roan RPG. We are confirmed for our table for BronyCon. So in August. In fact, I am starting to make arrangements for pricing plane tickets and everything like that. I know how
there we go.
To be. All right, so we've got just taking a moment here. I'm just checking certain things, make sure like my center of mass on the ball. My ball is not round enough. It's going to be squished a little bit because she's
Squishing on it, yeah.
She's putting her weight down on this thing, and of course her knee's on one side of the curve. That's why you can't see it.
Yep. Did you get your vendor's table?
Vendor's table at BabsCon?
Yes.
No, we have not gotten our vendor's table. Clear Skies.
That's a shame.
Yeah. There's that saying. The mom always said, "If you can't say something nice, don't say anything at all." Clear Skies and I are very, very unhappy about that. We have not been.
I'll say it. BabsCon folks, get it together.
Yeah. They dropped the ball. They said, "Oh, we definitely want to have you for a panel," but then they said, "Oh, but you're not going to get a table." It's like, why'd you give us a panel then? So we're going to be. We don't know when the Roan panel is going to be at BabsCon. As soon as we find out, we'll let you folks know. Especially if you're following me on Twitter or Clear Skies on Twitter, he'll make that announcement. We also plan on being in the game room during the convention, and we're putting things together for the idea of having scenarios that we'll be running, and people can just come in and pick up characters and just jump in and find out what Roan's all about. We are going forward with the next expansion book. In fact, I had a very long meeting with Clear Skies on Friday, and we went over what we want to have happen in the book and when and how, and now I've got my marching orders for the year. And I get to do some cool stuff in the next book.
Explosions.
Not some explosions. You know, people say I'm really good at doing creepy stuff. Well, Clear Skies is basically giving me free reign to do creepy.
Oh, that's right, the Radivarian.
Yeah.
H.R. Giger's Nightmare.
Yeah, this is a... So this is going to be... Yes, Pompadour and Skunk.
Structural pompadours.
Yes, it's actually an amazing thing because it's surprisingly soft, and she can stuff it all underneath a baseball cap, and then when she takes the cap off, it makes this sound. Patina's
Memory hair.
Yeah, Patina's does the same thing, except it's a more higher pitch sound. And the best that people can figure is it's a little bit of residual magic left over from when the world was swimming in the stuff. And no longer is.
That's right. That's right, folks. I can recommend Cretius. Cretius did some damn good work for me. And,
in fact, we did an art trade recently of.
She did a great carousel.
Yeah, she did. She did an excellent carousel. You can see it on my Twitter. You can see it on my DeviantArt, or I guess the Cretius could put up maybe put up a link at some point if she wants to do that. That's her job, Dark Shadow. She's a professional swimsuit and lingerie model, and her whole reason for doing her job is to make you want to buy that car polish, buy that car.
Squeak activewear.
Yes. Well, the Squeak activewear is a line of activewear for mice that Patina actually owns a fair bit of stock in. Let's start wrapping her out. Her face is a little bit too sharp and angular. Let's start smoothing that out some.
All right.
Hey, Larsis.
So what else has been going on in the world? Well, got my car back from the body shop. Hooray!
Yes, we have Big Mac back.
Yep. Yeah, so my Mustang got bent. Somebody ran a stop sign right in front of me, but it's all shiny and red again. So we're happy with that. Yeah.
Can you even tell that it was ever hit?
Not really. Well, yeah. It's actually yes, you can because the entire car's clean now. Because they have to wash it before they do paint, right? You know.
That's right.
So yeah, that was 6 weeks of missing my baby, but I got my baby back.
Yes, you do. Yes, her tail is exceedingly fluffy, and the amazing thing is she has incredible back strength. She can actually lift her tail up when it's soaking wet, which has got to add probably about 20 pounds to the...
big lower back muscles.
Yes. Because she just hit me in the face with it one time when I said something really, really snarky.
Yeah, took you right off your feet.
Yeah, knocked me out of my chair. Totally worth it.
Yeah. So let's see, what other silliness? Oh. Completely unrelated, but just I just want to say because I'm happy. Yeah. See, here we go. Look in the camera here. Do you guys know what these are? Yeah. What those are? That means that I'm actually going to be able to play, hooray, in a Dungeons & Dragons game. I've been game mastering Dungeons & Dragons as long as Dungeons & Dragons has existed, basically. I started back in high school, and that was, oh geez, how do I put this? Jimmy Carter was president.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah. But I so seldom get to play, as opposed to Game Master. And I found somebody locally who's going to run a game, and I am jazzed. Now the only question is, which of my army of characters that I built up, just waiting to start the game, waiting to find somebody running a game that I get to play. So, what do you guys think? Yeah. I've got the barbarian wolf, who is the nicest guy in the whole wide world, until something perturbs him.
Then he's not the nicest person in the world.
Well, yeah. He's also a battle singer and the whole bit, but he's a little bit of a Mary Sue. I mean, he was a non-player character in a D&D campaign that Baron and
Silverbrand?
Paw were in. Yes, Silverbrand. Yeah, and he made a great supporting character.
Mm-hmm.
Hit things really hard with his two hands.
Especially when we did things stupid.
Yeah.
He had to bail our ass out.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, that's what a lot of game masters do, is they will embed a character in the party just to round it out and to be able to provide a little tiny bit of input if things are going way off track. The characters.
You really don't want to do that.
Well, no, not quite like that. That's
No.
too obvious. But as it would provide an escape mechanism and that sort of thing. It's like, hey, go ahead and play him. But hello, Painted Knight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
First time here?
Yeah. If so, welcome. If not, welcome anyway.
Yeah. The guy drawing is Baron. The guy talking about D&D, that's Caradwin.
Yeah, I'm a little bit crazy about that. Yeah.
Just a little bit.
Yeah. So that's Silverbrand. I also have Nikishi, who is she's a little mouse, and she's a cleric of the light, and yes, it's your basic heal bot. Although in D&D 5th edition, clerics can do some pretty awesome hits. There's something called Guided Bolt that that hits really, really hard and illuminates the target. So like for the next round, you can beat them up and all that. That was kind of a surprise to see as a first level spell.
Well, but it doesn't really surprise me, because when you think about it, if you're good at healing people, you've got to have a fairly good understanding of, well, this is what you do to not heal somebody.
Exactly. Well, there's in 5th edition, what they've done is they've significantly boosted the power of a first level character.
Yay.
And kind of cut down on the power of high level characters. So they sort of flattened it. And it reads a lot better. I mean, in the old way of doing things, when you first started off, you were the most fragile things you ever saw in your life.
Yeah, giant rats were humongous threats to the party.
Yeah, exactly. And they've done quite a bit of work on making the experience good from the get-go. It's a little bit simpler system than previous editions of D&D, and much simpler than Pathfinder. Pathfinder gives you all kinds of options for customization, et cetera, but it's a lot more crunchy, a lot more rules.
A lot more twitchy.
Yeah. It's something you do as much to. It's a little bit more war-gamey than Dungeons and Dragons.
Mm-hmm.
But every party needs a healer. So if the group needs a healer, I've got Nikishi ready, and I got my little kobold Chishi. She's your basic, rogue who would really love to be a bard someday. Kobold bards.
Mm-hmm.
They sing really high.
Well, didn't you say there's actually some interesting advantages for having a
Go kobolds?
Yeah, for a bard.
Well, not so much for a bard, but kobolds have this power called pack tactics. And basically, if they're standing next to another one of their allies, somebody else in the party, they're almost never going to miss. It's just, they call it having advantage. Roll the dice twice, take the better of the two.
Mm-hmm.
Again, it raises your average hit chance from 60% to about 90%.
Mm-hmm.
And so you will hit all the time. The other thing that they've done is they've introduced a rule so that you don't have to have a high strength character to do damage in melee. Some weapons like daggers and rapiers it's based on dexterity instead of strength,
Mm-hmm.
which means you can have a low strength, high dexterity character, your basic, swashbuckler types, and kobolds get a bonus to dexterity.
Mm-hmm.
So you have a dexterity-based kobold rogue who always pairs up with like some, big hulking barbarian and sticks to him like glue.
Mm-hmm.
And the barbarian, Hulk smash, and the kobold stabby, 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 stabby.
Mm-hmm.
And the kobold will probably actually put up more damage over time.
Mm-hmm.
So kobolds are not the joke that they used to be. You get a pack of kobolds on you, and they're gonna ruin your day.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of cool.
Hey Dale, welcome to the show.
Hello, hello. So I figure one of those guys.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
It sounds like 3 good possible candidates.
Yeah. So what do you guys think? Go with the cute, a little bit dim, very friendly barbarian. Go with the kobold rogue who wants to be a bard someday, or go with the mouse who is a cleric of light. Who is a healer and a roaster of undead. Yeah. So.
Of course, it also might depend on what the rest of the party has, as far as.
Yeah. A kobold who is alone has always been, well, not quite a joke monster, but close. But you get 2 or more kobolds on there, they're gonna mess you up.
And I do like the idea that there's certain weapons that rely more on dex, because you're correct. Of a rapier, it's more your mass and your ability to put the point exactly where it needs to be to make the maximum ouchie occur.
Yep. Oh man, nobody likes Silverbrand. He's got the best butt. Yeah. Yeah. No. Say back when we were running the game in which Silverbrand was the party NPC, as it were. I'm going to embarrass you a little bit, the Cat's Paw. Cat's Paw's character was Woodsmoke, and Woodsmoke thought that Silverbrand was this cool combination. Cat's Paw was a cat ranger, and she sort of adopted Silverbrand as kind of sort of her big brother, and watched him take baths all the time and stuff like that, because she was like, ooh, hey, that's pretty nice.
Mm-hmm.
So and he was clueless. He had no idea that was going on. Now that was a silly question. Baron, can I draw carousel in a bridle and bit?
Yes, you may.
This is the sound of Baron's arm being twisted.
Yes. This can be done. Long as it's obvious it's consenting.
Yeah.
Put the right look in her eye.
We cast Resurrect Howl. Make your saving throw. Yeah. So actually Cat's Paw is sort of working on a original game system, the airship and auto gyros thing that that has, it looks like it's going to have some real potential.
Oh yeah, he's going to a very interesting, different way of kind of approaching things. It's neat, because RPG's been around for so long. It's kind of hard to come up with something that's like, well, this is kind of different. You don't see this every day on how to solve tasks and combat and everything like that. And
yeah,
he's been slowly making it happen.
Yep. As they're working on a game of my own, it's a gotta learn to say this quickly. Post-apocalyptic game, more Mad Max than than Fallout, really. But that one is coming along very well. We've already had several game sessions a while back.
Strong heart.
Yeah, exactly. Baron played the Unicorn Medic, and Cat's Paw played a Grumbly Griffin. Mm-hmm. If you have Cat's Paw in your group, it's going to be a curmudgeon. It's a rule. But then we had Dusty was the tech nerd, and for a little while we had Amy, who was the
female barbarian kind of.
Well, basically a not a raider really, but a tribal that hooked up with everybody there.
Which was good, because there's for a while. For some reason, the Doctor was doing the most damage, which didn't make any sense. It's like,
well, the
cursed 9mm.
Exactly. I mean, it just the dice were completely against using that 9. It was always like minimum damage.
Except for the last shot, then it was maximum.
Yep, exactly.
It was like everything had to warm up. It was like, Final Fantasy, warming up for that limit break. And
yeah, there you go. Yeah, the way things work is that most unicorn schools of magic have one very, very low power attack that doesn't use mana. It only does 1 point, but you get infinite ammo. And so, twee, 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 twee,
pew,
twee,
pew.
twee, and whittle them down.
Yep. It was several times in fights where it's like, pew, 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 pew.
Yeah.
Pew. Meanwhile, bang, 1 point, bang, 1 point,
Yeah.
bang, 1 point, bang. Then, the last round of combat, bang, 6 points, max damage. It's like, can we just skip those other 4 rounds and just go to the last round? And
Just beat them over the head with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, again, we expect 200-year-old ammo.
This is true.
Yeah.
Bad primers. Decomposing powder.
Yeah.
But it was just so consistent. I think we actually unloaded that thing. We just went, here, fine, you can have it.
Yep.
You'll love it.
Yeah, you ended up with a Winchester rifle.
That's fine. The Winchester worked.
Yeah.
It made holes.
Yeah, and I think that we left off. You guys had just settled into Saguaro.
Yes.
Yeah. Which is sort of a little tiny beacon of the remnants of civilization, as it were. And actually, I have a drawing right over here. Oh, there we go. This guy. Let me see if I can get. Yeah, there we go.
Oh, that white lightning.
White lightning. Yeah. There we go. Is a Griffin bartender that runs one of the 2 taverns in town, each one of which accuses the other of making poison. Don't drink there, you'll go blind. And he has had a cutie mark tattooed onto himself. This is long before Gabby, by the way. Long before Gabby.
Yeah, a couple seasons.
Yeah, and he doesn't talk about why he did it. But yeah, he sort of became not exactly the group's patron, but he was sympathetic towards them. It was like, oh, you came out of one of those underground arcologies, the
vaults.
the cellars.
Yes, the stables.
Cellar dwellers.
Yes.
Because Vault's TM is Bethesda TM, and the stables are Fallout Equestria. This isn't Fallout Equestria.
No, it's not.
You'll be able to play Fallout Equestria with this rule system with minimal adaptation, but it's more Road Warrior.
Yes. Just minus the motorcycles and the Mohawks. I guess you could put your main up in the Mohawk if you wanted to.
That was actually kind of amusing how those guys. One of the things that they had done while out adventuring is, they discovered a classic trap, of the hand grenade underneath the body. You move the body, and the hand grenade is exposed. They caught on to that, and was like, "Hey, thank you for the grenade."
Yes.
And there was in another town, the town of Stinking Springs, was named after the sulfurous hot springs nearby, was having sniper problems, and they managed to wound the sniper. And in this game, all the forms of magic compared to the show are much, much weaker. That's first of all for game balance things. Right now Earth Ponies are the dominant group right now because they're the toughest. And the other thing is that flight magic, which we have seen in the show, canonically it exists because that's what Tyrix stole, and then when it was gone, the Pegasi couldn't fly. Flight magic, air magic is greatly weakened, so you can stay in ground effect for free, but you're spending stamina every time you're out of ground effect. Every round you're out of ground effect. So you do a lot of gliding. And they managed to wound the sniper and chase him away from town and into this, this big jumble of boulders and, deep into this cleft. And, how are we going to deal with this guy? How are we going to deal with this guy? And good old Cat's Paw, as they had
the answer.
As they had Goldie the Griffin, it's like, we've got a grenade. and just rolled it in and jelly. And that took care of that. Of course, they didn't find out anything about this guy.
The only thing we knew about him, he was very unusual because he was a hippogriff.
Yes, he was a hippogriff, and hippogriffs in this world are known to be unstable.
And also ostracized by both sides.
They tend to be, yes.
Which doesn't help their stability.
Yeah, no, yeah, again, one feeds onto the other. And let's say the only thing that they found was that he was using a sort of a hodgepodge home-built single-shot 50 cal, and where instead of using proper smokeless powder, it was using good old-fashioned gunpowder reloads, which means they're much weaker. But it has some kind of weird magic thing hanging from the barrel, sort of a fetish, again, cluster of feathers, crap like that, which they never quite figured out. And when the game went dark, to make major mods in the rule system in response to what we had learned, they still had not found out exactly what the deal is and what this nutbag was doing, just taking random pot shots.
But that was one reason why we went to Segura, because the gunsmith who made the rifle
was there. Yeah.
We were trying, but he didn't know anything about the fetish, if I remember correctly. So I just built a rifle. I don't know anything about this fetish.
Yeah.
Eagle Eye fetish, if I remember what it was called.
Next up, Karen instead plays a rogue medic who goes around stealing from the rich and curing the sick with his healing shiv of cure major wounds.
Yes.
I steal your hit points and give them to somebody else.
Yes, the healing shiv.
Yeah.
Vampirism usable on others at range +2.
Oh, we were watching Dusty dealing with that this afternoon when he was playing Skyrim.
Yeah. Oh, exactly. Dusty's just got into Skyrim. He's got the new high zoot graphics version on PS4.
Mm-hmm.
And I put in way too much time into Skyrim, but Dusty has just discovered it. And it's eating him. It's great.
I will give the game credit, at least compared to a lot of other fantasy role-playing games. At least the weapons look kind of like, that looks like a sword. Yeah, I imagine you could stick somebody with that, and it would actually hurt. Unlike some of these computer games where it's like, is that a sword, or is that the bumper off at the Soto?
Some say he was once represented by a lawyer whose trousers became conflagrated in an arson trial, and that one of his characters, in an upset, replaced a dog as mayor in Minnesota. All we know is he's not the Stig because he's Baron Engel.
That must be Larson. Thank you very much.
That's Larson.
I needed some sunglasses whenever he does that.
Channeling the Scottish boob.
Yeah. Jeremy Clarkson is a boob. That's the best word for him.
Yes. It was very amusing that one of our associates that we know was in an episode of the Grand Tour.
Oh, that's right.
Sean Wall.
Yep, yeah.
A very long journal posting about it.
Yeah, exactly. It's a fellow we know who is totally into cars, and
he's building an Atom right now at the moment, I believe.
Yeah, and he got tapped to assist with was it the
Grand Tour?
The Grand Tour, yeah.
Yeah.
The Amazon show with all of the ex-members of Top Gear.
I'm going to turn this upside down for a moment here so that I can get... And yes, folks, I am keeping track of the time. We are coming up on backstretch time for you folks that are new. I am a recovered back patient, but this means that I need to get up every hour and do stretches, and so should you. So we'll take a 5-minute break and then we'll come back. I might work a little bit more on Rosemary before I go to the next.
I saw very briefly one of the new Top Gears, for about 5 minutes. And it's just there was no chemistry between them, and even some of them gave up. They said, "We can't do this."
Yeah.
Yeah.
And big shoes to follow, if nothing else.
Yeah, well, Clarkson is 6'5".
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, and again, there's not a whole lot of. He screwed up. He slugged his producer. That wasn't the first time either. But basically that put it into the show because the BBC fired him. And then the other members of the show basically said, well, look, you can't do this without Clarkson. And they quit. So they tried to cast some new guys, and it was a total failure. So, what can you do?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's see what we got here.
What do we got? What do we got?
Scootaloo's family finally gets to appear. Not a free-range orphan.
Whoa, hey.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Season 7 also starts the
Weekend of the BabsCon.
That's right. So I imagine that's going to be one packed room.
Yes.
Our Hobbit would love to see you do the main 6 of Power Rangers.
I am tempted to do some Power Pony stuff. Related art. Both as Show Pony and maybe as Anthro.
Let's see what we got here. Who would be the Green Ranger? See, and that really is the biggest condemnation there, Foxfire. If you say if you have guys on the show, say hosting the show, and you can't even name them, well, gee, I guess it must not be very memorable.
Yep.
And that kind of sort of is the, yep.
It was that guy and that guy.
Yep. Yeah. So just, you're getting once in a while we get to see the top of your head, by the way.
Right.
Yeah.
But I try to keep it to a minimum.
Yep. Yeah, serious, do it! Oh, please, I mean. Mighty Morphine Power Rangers. Oh, wow.
Yep.
Yeah, we're going to give you another 5 minutes and beat you over the head with the break.
That's right. After, you don't... We have the intro, which takes up... Just want to get some things kind of blocked in. I'll probably go back in and refine some of these shading maybe a little bit later after I put it on. Actually, not liking that.
You could almost do the main 6 as Gatchaman, particularly the Americanized version, G-Force with Spike as 7 Zark 7.
One of the things, I don't know how many of you out there in the audience know of the artist Alex Ross.
I heard that name.
He's done some amazing work. He's one of my heroes. And he's done a lot of stuff. He did, DC's Kingdom Come. And one of the things that really surprised me was a few years ago he did a whole bunch of Gatchaman art. And the Gatchaman uniforms were kind of this goofy 1970s, vaguely, are you an interpretive dance troupe or are you supposed to be superheroes? But he made the characters actually look like, oh my gosh, I don't want to meet you in a dark alley. They looked like serious, hardcore combatants. And they're still wearing the same outfits. It's just like, okay, it's amazing what you've done here with the characters. So if you have not seen Alex Ross's work, I recommend you Google it. Yes, Longi, she's coming along sexy because that's her job. She gets paid to be sexy. And she's holding up amazingly well for someone who's in her 30s now.
I don't think it's possible for Baron to do a female character that's not attractive in some way. Harsh Winnie.
I can do.
Bleh. Alex made a couple costume designs for Sam Raimi's Spider-Man, which ultimately went unused, but you could unlock them in a video game. Yeah. Yeah, more hot coffee. That's it. The infamous... Well, again, there's a lot of Easter eggs in a lot of games that are unlockable like that, or which are hidden away. Of course, some of them are a bit more infamous than others.
Mm-hmm. Infamous hot coffee.
Hot coffee and stuff like that, yeah. On the other hand, you can't buy publicity like that.
No. No, you cannot.
Yeah.
All right.
The louder you try and denounce and ban it, the more people will go and get it. So again, the best thing you can do is to get some, blue-nosed, parents group or another, making outrageous claims about, this, that, and the other. Dungeons and Dragons sales went through the roof after everybody said, "Oh, it's devil worship." It's like, no, you're dummies. Yeah,
but the game's really cool.
Yeah, exactly. And so all the D&D people just, the guys that were writing the game just, sat back and said, "You say whatever the hell you want. You can't buy publicity like this."
We have to pay millions of dollars to get this, and you're giving it to us for free every night on evening news.
We are requested to have you relay to Smudge that her animations on the YouTube channel are very good.
Ah, excellent. They will pass that along to her. Also, too, she is running some Twitch streaming right now. She's playing WildStar. And so if you're following her, she pops up and says, "Hey, I'm streaming on Twitch." And doing that. And for folks who are new or weren't aware, on the Smudge Marks and Engel Works website, we have set up a YouTube channel, and we are archiving all of the old episodes. So if you missed a week and you didn't get a chance to see something, you can go back and watch the old episode.
Yeah, and of course the other thing that's kind of cool is that Picardo recently implemented its own archive system. So they had to wipe out the old shows, but starting like 2 or 3 shows ago, they're going to keep the last 12.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can always come and see them somewhere.
Yep.
Let's see here. Just getting the colors look a little bit more natural. Why are you doing this to me, old silly camera?
Is the camera being wacky?
There we go. Let's try that. Click there. Aha. Yeah. See, there's controls for exposure, gain, brightness, contrast, color intensity, which is basically saturation, and white balance. And exposure is notch. It's like 1, 5, 10, 15, 20, 20, as opposed to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's not very granular. And I went click.
Well, yeah, Monkey Chip, you can catch them either on Picardo or, like I said, you can go to the Smudge Marks and Engel Works sites and you can catch the last couple of streams. Yeah. Especially as I understand, there's folks that are going, "Hey, look, I'm in a time zone that I have to get by like 2 o'clock in the morning to do this." I mean, I got some, we got some folks who are in Europe, and well, heck, Monkey, you're in Geneva.
Yep, and you are 5 minutes over on break.
So we will take a break now.
Yeah, okie dokie. Going back to here, I'm going to click on this, then I'm going to click on that. Whoop, there we go.
All right, I may tweak on this a little bit more when I get home with it, but that's one down.
All right. Okay, folks, so we will see you in this many minutes.
5 minutes.
Get up and stretch. Go pee.
Yes, get something to drink, hydrate yourself.
Absolutely. So I'm going to click this thing right here. That makes us go away for 5 minutes. Bam.
Bye-bye.
And we are indeed back.
Yes, we are. Back from break.
Yeah, you can fold my laundry whenever you want.
Good stuff.
Yes.
Well, that's right. The little camera isn't on right now.
Dorda. Amazing stuff.
Yeah. Ultimate chocolate.
Yeah, Nestle Quick for adults.
Hershey's Special Dark for adults. Nestle Quick never did anything for me. Mm-hmm. Hershey's Special Dark syrup, that made a good. Yeah.
Did we ever do did you ever get a chance to do a recompile of the intermission music?
No, I found the I got the right level on.
Okay.
Well, is it generic? We get mixed reports on that.
Yes.
Yeah. But that being said, a lot of that's going to get redone in a few weeks. We're just going to have a new look and new.
Yep, and of course, with a whole bunch of new color work getting done this year, we might even have a whole new artwork and everything for the intro too. By then,
would that not be something?
Yes, give you guys. You guys have enjoyed the opening. Well, we'll give you something new to look at when it happens.
All right.
All right.
So who is getting drawn for?
Well, we're gonna say, we'll put Rosemary aside. I'll tweak on her shading a little bit more when I get home. Tighten that up. I mean, I that was all within an hour, so that was from start blank paper to.
Yes, we want our skunks to be. Wait.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
You said that, sir.
I said nothing.
That.
I stopped in time. You hear nothing.
Yeah, we hear nothing.
Colonel Hogan.
Yes.
Kids these days don't know Colonel Hogan.
Yeah. So we're gonna do. I'm gonna work on Rebel Squirrels.
Hi, Rebel. You're up.
Yeah, Rebel. Jennifer's up the bat. I'll stuff that in there, so that's all kept nice and flat.
And while you're doing that, I'm going to fulfill our hourly promise.
Yes, to University Arts in
Yep.
San Jose, California.
Yep. Yeah, so we'll make this one short and sweet. You want high-end framing, you get it done there. They do it right. They do it. I would not trust anybody else with my stuff.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so back to it. 1, 2, 3, bang, bang.
Bang, and I've got the right glasses on, folks.
Hooray!
I'm gonna take a moment here. I got some schmutz on my glasses. Can't draw when you have schmutz. All right.
There we go. Okay. Sullivan says it's almost 9 and you don't have to leave tonight. Yay!
Yeah, Sullivan, his boss is giving him sane hours.
What a concept.
You know, have to be there at 5 o'clock in the morning. He's been promoted.
Well, apparently, news is that Chuck Berry may have just passed away.
Oh. Yeah, that would. Wow.
Well, that's another classic one going on. We lost B.B. King last year. Saw B.B. King live about 5 years ago in a really tiny little place.
Is that the Little Fox up there?
The Little Fox, yeah. Might have seated 70 people if they were really friendly. I mean, tiny place. They had all these little 2-foot diameter, seat 3 people around it, just big enough to hold your drinks tables. And I was on a table right next to the stage, to quote Lewis Black, I could have poked him. So, and that was a good show. And B.B. King apparently was very vital and a good performer all the way until the end.
We lost Larry Cohen last year too.
Yeah. So, again, everybody says, we're losing so many. You lose so many every year. That's just the way of it. But.
It just nowadays you're more aware of it because of.
Well, we will raise a glass to Chuck Berry.
Yes.
Hello, MC. So.
Glad you could join us tonight.
Dark Shadow hopes for sponsorship someday. There we go. Yeah, it says they would be like Seco condoms and the likes because otherwise you would be broke. I exist because a condom broke. That is the truth. Yeah, I say the doctor told my mom that she was past childbearing years and it was whoopee time, but just to be sure. And then apparently the condom broke and my mom claimed that she knew right away. So I was a late arrival. All the good musicians are passing away. We're going to be left with Britney Spears. Oh, thanks for that kind thought, Mr. Frank. Go back over here. Forgot to close the window.
Yeah, we're actually getting that time of year where we have to start worrying about the lighting and everything, making this place a little bit on the toasty side. Unlike in January when I was enjoying wearing flannel on camera, it's like, yay!
There we go. So we're all going to be left with is Justin Bieber. Yeah. You ever notice how people like Justin Bieber and Yiannopoulos and all these other super shocking people like that, they all dress really outrageously, et cetera, except when they have to apologize for yet another stupid thing that they do. Then they wear a suit to deliver the apology. You know they did something stupid when you see them showing up in a decent suit. Mm-hmm. Oh great, what are they going to confess to this time? Yeah, that's my confession suit.
So the idea here I'm trying to work out here is we've got Rebels character Jennifer Sherwood, who is kind of a proto superhero. Taking place in 1915 United States. America's not yet involved in. At least I think it's 1915. Correct me if I'm wrong on Rebel, but I know we're not involved yet in the war, the Great War.
Yep.
And she is fighting for women's suffrage and fighting all the secret society, all that wonderful pulp stuff that you always read about from the the turn of the century. That's her thing. Oh boy, speaking of the Great War, if you are not following Indy Nidell and the Great War on YouTube or Patreon, him and his crew are doing an amazing project. They are covering World War I on a week-by-week basis. And going all the way back to the very start of the war, we're now into, of course, 1917. Back this week, the Tsar of Russia abdicated. So it's been a fascinating, and he's been doing stuff now that's connected in with Matthias and May over at CNR Arsenal, and even, Ian McCollum and Carl with Forgotten Weapons and In Range.
Yeah. So it's amazing how all this good high quality stuff is showing up just from YouTube guys that are doing their damn research.
Yeah. Yeah, and considering that watching how much the Caribbean has to do to make these performances come off and everything, the fact that they are doing up to 2 10-minute videos plus long videos a week.
Well, you know what they're doing in the off time.
Yeah. And the fact that they live all over Europe, and they all have to come together quite often because Indy, if I remember correctly, lives in Stockholm, and he has to go to Berlin to record a lot of the episodes. I believe that's where Flo has his studio that they're using. So this is some serious commitment people are making. And around time about Zimmer Telegram. Well, Zimmer Telegram was 1916 because that was last year.
And subject of World War I, the Samur Tank Museum has a replica, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
I will see you in a little bit then, Nizumi. Yep. Catch you later, Creatures. Send Creatures commissions. Send it.
Yes.
Do it. Blah. The Bovington Tank Museum has a working Mark IV. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've seen videos of it. It's kind of going, chunk, 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 chunk.
Yes.
The Leviathan slowly working its way across the Western Front.
Yeah. Careful. Home. Ouch. That movie has not aged at all well. Even before the changing all the guns into walkie-talkies, BS.
Yeah. But it was
Pinky. Actually, we are not even 50% of the way through.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is 6:50. We are going for another 2 hours and 40 minutes.
Yeah. Welcome to the. Welcome back.
So you made it. You go right ahead, monkey. You do that thing. Say links are okay as long as they're not to something not safe for work or just something completely stupid, like malware or something like that.
Or this is kind of a politics zone, so don't link it.
Yeah, exactly. We all know who has the tiny hands in the room. So if you guys have artwork that you would like to share with us, we like that.
Yeah. We want to encourage people. I know there's folks that actually, during these streams, sit down and draw. Yeah. I want to encourage that.
Hell yeah. Ah, there you go. There's an old one.
Yep.
Oh, that's pretty.
Yep.
Love the paint job.
Apparently they did experiment with some of those, almost like dazzle camouflage.
Yeah. So as long as you're not dealing with computer vision as opposed to human vision, yeah, that works.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, Corin. Actually, I was in the business of detecting malware and botnets for many, many years. So yeah, fun stuff.
Yep.
That was a nice picture.
Mm-hmm.
All right, what else we got? What else? Working at a bank made you paranoid. Let me tell you. The business that I'm currently in right now is detection of and forensics on what they call insider threat, basically industrial espionage. And these huge data dumps and stuff like that. And banks love us. Yeah, we've found some interesting things. Example of the kind of thing. This call may be recorded for quality purposes and training. Well, that means that somewhere out there, there's an MP3 file of your conversation with bank. Hello, bank person. I would like to do a bank thing. I would like to do a bank thing by transferring money from my bank thing, which has an account number of 12345, to this bank place, account number 89742, and my password is Fred. You get your hands on that MP3 file, and you got a lot of information.
Mm-hmm.
We caught him. We caught the guy. We caught the guy that had gotten into the server that had those files and was sending them to people that were in a position to exploit them, and now he's in jail. And that's what I do for a living.
You fight the good fight. You wear the white hat.
Well, So.
Or at least the dove gray one.
I wear a hat. Actually, I wear many hats.
Yes.
So, what we got here? Get yourself a French tonk. The French were among the very first, the early Renaults to have the tonks.
Yeah, and the Renault 1917 basically defined the concept of what a modern tank was, with the rotating turret, and let's get rid of all these sponsons and extra machine gunners, and just focus on fewer moving parts.
De l'Armée de Paris. I'm going to totally slaughter this. Here's the dumb American trying to pronounce French. The Musée de l'Armée de Paris. Yes.
You remember to put the belt low on her waist. She wears it low because that means she can carry more pouches than high up on the waist.
Yeah.
When you got a small waist, that starts being an issue.
Oh, is this that raccoon thief?
No, not raccoon thief. This is a fox. She wears the mask and everything.
Oh, okay.
That.
All right.
But she
just
had
sort of trying to look over. I remember that picture. That was a nice one.
Oh yeah.
I like the effect of the shadow being the only part that reveals the texture.
Mm-hmm.
That was a cool effect.
That was me doing a little tribute actually to old Frank Miller in Sin City, because he did that. That's where I originally saw the idea. That is really cool. Of course, Frank had all kinds of amazing. Of course, he sometimes his pages were drenched in black ink. Wait, does this stream sound like an uplifting experience? How dare we do that? I'm just gonna put that down for a moment while I work on a few things here. Take it back up in a moment. Yeah, my head's not protruding into the camera. Nope. Okay, good.
What brand is that stick eraser?
This guy right here? Is this one people talking about? The one that's I've used it so much I've rubbed the name clean off the. This is from the Tombow company. This is called the Mono Eraser. It is from Japan. It is a 2 millimeter thick tip. This is a round one. I bought this on a lark when for years I'd used the Pentel click erasers here, And when this showed up, I kind of went, oh, well, it's just another round eraser, and it's small. I think it's probably a gimmick. But I'll buy one and give it a try. This has now become my go-to detail eraser. The little small eraser here is an interesting balance. It is firm enough that it just doesn't automatically disintegrate on you. But it is firm enough and soft enough that it doesn't rip up the paper. And it's actually a fairly long refill that goes inside one of these things. So you can go for a while before you have to change it out. They also make a 2mm square version. I have found that to be not nearly as useful for me as the round. And if you're using a racing shield for detail erasing, sometimes it can be a really, really, really neat combination. I'm gonna go back and take a look at my decanter here on something. Yeah. That over here. That over here. Set you right there. Put my regular glasses up there, and I'm talking to myself.
Somebody needs to. Actually, all I know what this is. Karen is Brian Eno in disguise. Actually, for a while, I actually ended up telling you, I had a very rare vocal processor made by Roland called the VP550. And it was something where it was sort of like a vocoder, except that it would dynamically do chorusing, and you could make one guy sound like, you know, a chorus live. If you're familiar with Brian Eno's Undergrounders, that's the VP550Z. Or VP550 rather, and I did some processing of audiobook readings layered with orchestral stuff. That the readings were from J.R.R. Tolkien's The Silmarillion. A guy named Michael Shaw did the audiobook performance, and he will go head to head and toe to toe with with James Earl Jones any day. And you could actually follow, you know, who the various characters were, because you could when you hear the character names, you can actually tell them apart. But I just did that and played some, you know, background stuff and made some recordings. Unfortunately, I don't have them anymore, but that turned out really nice. Chorused the heck out of him, made it into a musical performance. Wasn't Brian Eno the front man for Roxy Music? I don't know. Brian Eno is very new agey, crystal strokey, you know, oh, the world is a glimmering place type of stuff. But it's good stuff.
Yeah.
You know, again, very pleasant, very relaxing, polished to the point where there's no edges, but very smooth. And I think the album that Undergrounders showed up on was the first one where he did his own vocal performance, because before that he was a little bit shy to sing, even though he's a good singer. Of course, again, put it through the VP550. Look it up on YouTube. There's some really, really cool demos. Again, it's just you get this majesty to it that is fantastic. Yeah. There we go. And battle axe. Just remember, no capes, darling. No capes.
No
I
capes.
don't do capes.
Yes.
Yeah. Ah, yes, Brad Bird.
I liked The Incredibles.
Oh, that's one of my favorite Pixar movies.
And the soundtrack for it what made Henry Mancini proud in spots.
The soundtrack was good, and it's a very, very adult theme that had some very serious questions about the whole participation trophy culture.
Yep.
You know, if everybody is special, nobody is. It's like, okay, there's pluses and minuses to that, and it gives rise to, say, two terrible extremes on both ends. So,
yes.
a movie that made you think, oh my God, you know, and didn't come to a conclusion because there isn't a solid conclusion to reach. Oh
yes,
no!
But the whole thing about capes ended up actually being an important plot point.
Exactly.
And that's why Edna Ray doesn't do capes. But I really did like some of the design sense, little things in the architecture, how Mr. Incredible's house and his family's house looked and everything, the car he drove, and how it changed and turned into that like 1960s Jaguar XKE style vehicle. Really neat stuff.
Yeah. Isn't there an Impossibles 2 on the way? Or Incredibles 2, rather. The Incredibles 2, yeah.
Yeah, the actual one's been announced.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm hopeful.
Yeah.
Pixar has a very good track record for. Like most people say, Toy Story 2 was better than Toy Story.
Yeah. I mean, and basically now Cars 2 apparently wasn't as good as the first car.
No, no.
I mean, of course, not everyone's going to be a knockout out of the park.
And there's only so much Larry the Cable Guy you can take.
Yes.
Yeah, but yeah. So they've got a good track record. I know. Actually, you know him too. Ken Mitrini
Yes.
worked for Pixar for years and years and years, and they apparently they can keep good people.
Yes.
Yeah. Cars 2 is Disney mandated. Well, yeah. I mean, it's a big cash cow. Of course, they're going to do it. You know, they don't make. They want to make art, but they also want to make money, and money has to come first. Otherwise, you don't get to make art.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's actually one of the things. I've had a kind of a recent spat of some young artists who've come forward and said, "I want to be professional. I want to do this. I watch you and see you do stuff, and it's all amazing, and I want to do the same thing." And thank you very much. I'm glad I inspire. But at the same time, I want to let a lot of people know that there's a price you pay by going pro. And that is, the moment you go pro, you have to start thinking in terms of, if this really is how you're going to make a living, then you have to look at the bottom line of everything. And yes, I'm consider myself very, very fortunate that I can just do study work that quite often people want to buy. But even quite often when I'm doing that, there's a little part of my back of my head. I know it's there. In my subconscious, it's thinking, okay, if I do this, can I sell it? Unlike, say 20 years ago when I just did whatever I felt like drawing. I didn't care if anyone ever saw it. I was doing stuff on the side because I was working full time and doing professional work once in a blue moon. But it does it changes your viewpoint, and that's both good and bad. But just keep that in mind for anyone who thinks they want to strike out on their own and go professional.
you'll lose a little bit of the magic.
Yes.
Yeah, or there's the danger of that.
Yeah, you'll get a different type of magic, but you'll lose. One door closes, another opens, and that's life in general. Just keep that in mind.
Yeah. So we got a lot of sequels coming out. Zootopia 2, Frozen 2, Wreck-It Ralph 2, But again, those could be cool. Again, Toy Story 2 was, by all accounts, as good as Toy Story was. Toy Story 2 was better. So yeah, I've got faith in the folks at Pixar. They don't make losers.
Mm-hmm.
It may not always be Oscar worthy, but it's never going to be a stinker. You're never going to be sad coming out of or sorry coming out of a Pixar movie.
The one I have to admit that I still want to catch is I want to see the Lego Batman movie. I've heard some really amazing things about the Lego Batman movie.
Art is like sex. First you do it for yourself, then for the family, then for friends, then finally for money. Is that how it is where you come from, Sam?
Really?
So, yeah, Zootopia, the gateway to furries. Zootopia is doing kind of what Robin Hood did back in the early 70s.
Yeah.
A very easy to get into movie, although Zootopia's got a lot more very serious, theme and thought behind it.
Mm-hmm.
But again, you have, you have these lead characters that are so easy to like and so you can get into, and it's like, oh yeah. It will open your eyes. It's the gateway drug.
Mm-hmm.
And before, I'm telling you, you start with Robin Hood, and before you know it, Omaha the Cat Dancer.
Yep.
Well, Reed Waller showed up again lately.
Yeah, yes,
He's back in the world, yeah.
Yes. Pop back up on the scope. A continent not heard from in a while.
Yeah, turns out that actually one of my all-time favoriteest, authors, Stephen Bruce, who does the Vlad Tolstoy series of sort of steampunk fantasy novels in which our point of view character Vlad Tolstoy is a smart-mouthed assassin in a very Machiavellian world, is also a big Reed Waller fan.
Really?
Yeah. Well, they're both Minnesotans.
Oh.
But
Don't you know?
Yeah, don't you know? Except that Steve doesn't sound that way.
Yeah, that's good. 'Cause I'm trying to imagine, some Machiavellian assassin with a St. Paul accent.
Well, the audiobook performances of the Jareg books are really absolute top quality. The reader is Bernard Sotero Clark, and Bernard Sotero Clark does just awesome audiobook performances. The voices, the pleasant sounding voice, the pacing. I mean, he is the epitome of the audiobook reader's art. And I can't read, on the pages of, the Jareg books without hearing Clark's interpretation of the characters. Like there's our lead character, Vlad Taltosh, again, he's an assassin, but he's also a witch. Humans do witchcraft. Dragarans, who are basically elves, sort of evil elves, do sorcery. And he has a familiar named Loyosh, who is a little tiny venomous dragon.
Flying dragon, yeah.
Yeah, well, flying wyvern more like,
Yeah.
And Loyosh sounds like Peter Lorre in the books. Can I eat him, boss? Can I? And the answer is always the same. Shut up, Loyosh.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, boss, I love it when you're sarcastic. So, yeah. But again, if you're at all into modern fantasy, I actually like Bruce better than I like George Martin. There's more thinking man to it. I mean, George Martin is better at the soap opera. And I'm not going to, I don't say that disparagingly, because almost all science fiction that is successful, at least, series science fiction like Star Trek, etc.,
Mm-hmm.
they're soap operas, but they're soap operas for geeks.
Mm-hmm.
They're all ensemble things. It's all about the characters and the way they interact, and you get to know the personalities. It's a soap opera. And George R.R. Martin writes soap opera in which the characters are sort of disposable.
Yep.
He dies, she dies, everybody dies. Oh, what gruesome way did they die today?
The first time I saw John Delancey was in a soap opera.
Oh, hell yeah.
It was in Days of Our Lives.
Oh, there you go.
And he played a completely ruthless,
Yeah.
bit of a twit. And that's why when I saw him as Q in Star Trek Next Generation, well, he's just like picked up the role again.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah. So pick up his books. So again, I do recommend the audiobooks. You can get them on Amazon or through Audible or something like that. Particularly if you've got the Audible, $7 a month, and you can have 2 audiobooks checked out at a time deal. It's a good deal.
Yes, big serious grimness.
Big serious.
Yeah. The new Battlestar Galactica was big serious grimness.
Yep. With all the murder and sex and opera, I wonder why people call them boring. The answer is because of the way that the murder and sex is delivered. It's hard to follow.
They're very abstract.
Well, the opera voices, the opera voices can be hard to understand, so you can't follow the story. I mean, it's as much about the vocal performance. By that I mean, what can you do with your voice to project in a huge hall? But that makes it hard to make out the words. And usually it's in Italian anyway, so you have to refer to the libretto, the little book. What did they just say?
The synopsis.
Yeah, and you spend half of the time of the opera, instead of listening to the guy singing, you're looking at the book. What did he just say?
Mm-hmm.
And you lose the story, and then you realize it's kind of like Shakespeare and Hamlet and all that. It's like the story was about what?
Mm-hmm.
They got away with talking about that.
Yeah, well, Shakespeare at least was a little bit. I found Shakespeare a little bit easier to follow, and of course, one thing that I love about Shakespeare is how well it adapts to the modern world.
Yeah. Well, he was just all about just basic human themes, and basic human themes. You go back to Cro-Magnon living in the caves in the south of France and doing stencils of their hands, all the way up to today, and it's the same motivations.
Yep.
It's the same people. They weren't any. We're no smarter than they are. We just have libraries. We just have books.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's the same thing.
Yeah, I have to agree with you, Rubber Vixen. That is one of the problems I have with subtitled animes. I quite often have to watch it twice. I watch it once to enjoy the animation, and then I watch it again to figure out what exactly people are saying, because I can keep track of one or the other. Now, I will admit, Engineer Sam brought it up. He showed us the Yamato 2199 anime a couple of years ago. And folks, if you've not seen that, it's amazing. I was never really a big Yamato Star Blazers fan back in the day, but they did an amazing job of rewriting. It's basically the same original story arc, but they went through and they repolished it and they reworked it, and it is amazing.
I've been hearing good things about it. Yeah.
Yeah, it is, and it has some wonderful Foley in some spots.
Yeah. Yeah. Hamlet whined for 4 acts about getting revenge. Then in revenge you get it in 5, then you die. And then everybody clapped.
I remember for a while Cupertino was doing Shakespeare in the summertime in the park performances, and we would go down and watch them. And I forget which one it was where they did this modern theme. Everyone was dressed in vaguely period costumes, but they were using things like cell phones and laptops and everything to record their messages. And it was hilarious watching this one scene where this guy has his laptop and he's obviously working. And the way he was sitting, I could actually see he was typing away on his laptop. He was up on top of this set, and he finishes the letter that he wants to have sent, and he closes the laptop. He says, "Send this to my brother," and he tosses this thing off the second story, and this messenger just catches it in one motion, drops it in his carrier bag, and then walks off. I'm going,
that's the world.
yeah. And it's just like, okay,
that was smooth.
Let's pull that shot off. Don't drop the laptop. We can't afford to replace it.
Let's see the guy here. Yeah, if you think Shakespeare was telling a dirty joke, he most likely was. I remember in 7th grade.
Oh, he was considered rude, crass street theater for back in his day.
Oh, he was the master of the innuendo.
Yeah.
But
it wasn't proper stuff.
Yeah, back in 7th grade, we read Romeo and Juliet, and there were spots in the book that had, like, there were some lines that there were several asterisks, and then there were some more lines like, Mrs. Veeder, what are these lines? Well, that's where, they've taken out some of the book. Why? Because he was talking about dirty things.
Mm-hmm.
What dirty things? So I had to go immediately grab, my folks had a copy of, the complete Shakespeare, and it's like, the time has come to speak of love, of quivering thighs and parts thereof. Mm-hmm. That was Romeo talking about Juliet to his buddies. This platonic thing is like, no. He wanted to stup.
Yeah.
It's like, you're a nasty 14-year-old boy wanting to stup a 13-year-old girl. I can see why they might not want to necessarily turn that loose on 7th graders, but...
Oh, yeah. And if you read the original Renard the Fox.
Oh, yes. Oh, the Canterbury Tales.
Yeah.
Holy crap, the Canterbury Tales.
Yeah. Earthy is a polite way of describing it.
Yeah. Yes, and so again, with the world's most flatulent monk as the point of view character.
Mm-hmm.
What's in a selfie? Alas, knowst we cannot. At work, we have one of those, refrigerator magnet things with a bunch of words on it. You're supposed to, make what you can out of the words on the refrigerator. We have the Shakespearean set. And I did a bunch of stuff there, and I posted it to Twitter because I am best at refrigerator magnet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Seek not thine lordship and deny the merry cup, for nothing is... blah, blah, blah. Yeah. So that was fun. We got a new CEO in, and she came in and she saw the refrigerator poetry and refrigerator magnet poetry, and she's like, who did this? I did that. You're very creative. That's usually what your mom says before she sends you to her room.
Right, and now you're grounded.
Yeah, that was very creative. You're grounded.
Once funny, Mike. Don't do it again.
Yeah, exactly. This is not Better Living Chemistry.
Angi says, there's a criminal
Yes, I'm
outside the
reading
building.
this.
Yeah, exactly. Well, beat him up.
Yeah.
Hit him with a chainsaw. Yeah. Imagine if Shakespeare did plays with today's obsession in social media and technology. I imagine right now that the BBC is probably doing a series about exactly that.
Yes.
Oh, by the way, if any of you have been living under a rock, there is a BBC series called The Black Mirror.
Oh.
It's basically an inheritor to Twilight Zone. Holy crap, it's good. It's not something you can really marathon, but each episode sort of stands on its own. And the Black Mirror it's all speculative science fiction. And the Black Mirror is, it's talking about the screen of the cell phone.
Yes.
And what it does to and for society. You want to see what kind of show it is? Go to Netflix. It's there, and watch The White Bear.
Yep.
The White Bear will mess you up. Oh, it's delicious.
Mm-hmm.
That is good science fiction. That is, Rod Serling would be so proud.
Have you seen the series Person of Interest?
I've heard about it, have not seen it.
I would recommend. Dave has watched all the series. I've only caught a couple episodes. It's on Netflix. Very interesting. Once again, it's one of these thought-provoking. It makes you go, And as Catspaw put, when they first started doing it, it was just, they were doing, this kind of, science fiction action adventure, and then certain things actually start happening in the real world. Certain things that Snowden pointed out, and it's like, oh, this is something to become a lot more current events.
Funny how that works.
Yeah, Person of Interest. I don't get a chance to catch as much TV as some people might think, because I have a choice. I can either write and create stuff, or I can watch stuff.
So apparently they're doing a spin-off series of Doctor Who. Orca says, new season of Doctor Who starts next month. It's a spin-off series based on the school the 12th Doctor worked as a custodian at. Yep. Catspaw, I binge-watched Person of Interest, yeah. Oh, another good series, kind of like that, Lie to Me.
Yes.
That's a good series to say. That's a fun, mess you up series. It's just not heavy, but it's if you like Sherlock, and who doesn't, then you will like Lie to Me. That was a fun series. Engineer Sam is offering Yamato $21.99 Blu-rays.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know if I have time to dip back into anime, because that is a huge world. Besides, I'm sort of a peripheral anime fan. It's like the stuff I go for is stuff that is not hardcore. I don't mean that kind of hardcore anime.
But
Miyazaki, whoever did Wings of Audiamus, which I thought was a Miyazaki.
That was Gainax.
Yeah, that was good. Ghost in the Shell.
Mm-hmm. That was manga, if I remember correctly. Which I have seen at least a trailer for the Ghost live action Ghost in the Shell. It's the original animated movie. And that's not me being some hipster or going, it because it's not anime, I'm not interested in it. So it's like I've seen the story before.
Yeah. So, a Starship Troopers remake. Well, given that the first Starship Troopers movie was already diametrically opposite of what Robert Heinlein had in mind.
Yeah.
Robert Heinlein was a big fan of writing about the role of the military in society. And of course, that's not popular these days, but historically, it's like, the military has always played a big role, and it doesn't always have to be necessarily negative.
Yeah, he was going back more like the Roman citizen model almost.
Right, exactly. The whole bit about so you're not a citizen until you've put something on the line, and of course, the movie was, well, again, shall we say, politicized in the opposite direction. If there's a remake, I just hope that it's a little bit closer to the original Heinlein. Not necessarily because taking a position one way or another on this or that, but I don't like it when Hollywood inverts an author's intent.
Well, apparently the whole thing was that it really wasn't, they weren't even trying to do Starship Trooper. They just used the name to avoid the possibility of being sued.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, another perfect example is The Postman.
Yeah.
by David Brin. Postman is post-apocalyptic, and it's a couple of decades past the nuclear war, and things are just barely starting to recover. And this one guy finds like an old U.S. Postal Service, van in the middle of nowhere, takes the uniform and starts passing himself off as the government is back. We'll be back in the area soon, and I'm a postman. And it becomes a symbol of hope. And he finds himself actually bringing the community together, just in time to deal basically with a bunch of marauders, survivalists gone bad. And David Brin's story was all about the hope and power of a symbol as simple as getting a letter. And Kevin Costner turned it into an anti-militia screed. And was very insulting to David Brin when Brin pointed out, you're going opposite direction. Well, I'm Kevin Costner and you're not, so get this person off the set. I spoke to David Brin in person about this back at one of the conferences where David Brin was a guest at the Dumpy.
For further confusion.
Further confusion, you're right.
2000.
Yeah, and and he said that he would never let any of his novels be touched by Hollywood again because it was such a negative experience. They took it from this, they made it exactly opposite of what he intended, and not cool. But Hollywood does that, particularly with science fiction.
Yep, and having worked on the peripherals of Hollywood on a couple of occasions, yes, it is amazing some of the shenanigans you have to.
Yeah, well, there's a slider. On the one side is creative control, and on the other side is money.
Yep.
The more money you take, the more you give up.
Yep.
And when you're dealing with an ego the size of Kevin Costner's, it's worse.
Yep. Well, or as I put, every zero you tack on to the amount, there's an extra.
Or the piece of your soul you have to sell.
Or a circle of BS you have to go through to basically get something accomplished.
Yeah.
So if you're getting paid $500,000, there's an awful lot of zeros there. You have to get $5 million. There's even more zeros you have to deal with to get the thing done. And yes, you'll end up jettisoning little pieces of yourself along the way if you're not careful.
Yeah.
Very important who you know and who you keep close to you in that kind of business. And we are coming up on 7.
It is 7:26.
Yeah. So we'll be
So
taking.
you're actually just about done with that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
Yep.
Yeah.
Once you have an idea in your head, if you have an idea where you want to go with something.
Sometimes you can get it down quickly. Yeah.
Yep. And I'm going to, when we take the break, we're going to come back and I'm going to take a challenge.
Uh-oh.
Because you were the one who did it.
Uh-oh. Now I'm trying to remember what I did.
Well, there was that comment about, someone said about, couldn't make any female look
Oh, you're going to horrify us.
I'm going to do Miss Harshwini.
You're going to do a Pony Cougar crossover.
Yup.
I'm going to go gargle bleach. Yeah. And Rebel says that it looks terrific, and thanks very much for bringing the scene to life.
Not a problem. Not a problem. I'll probably
She looks good in that mask. She really does.
Yeah, it works for her. I mean, Rebel's description, and I worked back and forth with him on the first original commission. We came up with a really great feel, and I've got kind of an idea what Jennifer as a person is like, and her motivations and why she's doing things. And Rebel, do you have actually any of the stories up someplace where folks can read them online? Have you published those on not Film Fiction, but some equivalent type place?
Mm. Well, there is fanfiction.net, etc.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because what I've read so far, I've actually kind of enjoyed it.
Kevin Costner movies where he is outacted by the trees, the water, and everyone else on the cast. He made a couple of good movies early on.
Yep.
I mean, Dances with Wolves was good. Field of Dreams was good. And then he got it in his head.
He started believing his own advertising.
Yeah, it's like, who do you think you are, Tom Hanks?
Yeah.
There's an example of somebody can make movie after movie that's really good and not become a dick while doing it.
Well, that's because he's somewhat humble fellow.
Yeah. Well, he's a real human being. Kevin Costner, not so much.
Yeah.
You just about done there?
I think we can go. We can switch the camera back. I'll tweak this a little more later. All right. So we're gonna do the thing. We're gonna take another 5-minute break, and then we come back. We're gonna do some more art. So see you folks in 5.
Goodbye for 5.
Bam, bam. Yes, we are back.
And welcome back to Winnow.
Yeah. And now we're going to go on to the next thing. You got to give me a moment here. I need to do a little bit of homework. I need to do some image grabbing off of via Google. Oh, actually, hang on a second. Do I have a Miss Harshwini folder on DeviantArt? I might have.
That would be creepy if you do.
I have almost all the major characters. I have favorite folders. I compartmentalize this stuff. Let's see here. There's Mon. There's Dude. Oh, yeah, there's Miss Harshwini. Okay, yes. I have several. Oh, that's something I told you to do. Silly iPad.
Silly iPad, do as I mean, not as I say.
Yes.
Oh, I say. I hope they're a little bit kinder to Fancy Pants this coming season.
Yeah,
because there's the whole idea about having at least one character in the aristocracy who wasn't, a complete prat.
I like the idea of him being possibly the the gentleman adventurer, the
League of Extraordinary Stallions.
Yes, the guy who doesn't have portfolio, but occasionally gets these. Celestia says Equestria needs you to do something, and he goes, okay. I can't have someone from the government go out and do this, but I need you to solve
You mean kind of like Daring Do?
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. The celestial irregulars, the
yes.
ones who are off the books.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's quite what the mayors in waiting do occasionally for.
Although they're more official.
Yes, they are. They are more official, but it's like, well, they do jobs for me.
Generic. Derp, derp, derp to all who oppose us.
So, I'm going to give you guys a choice of your poison. Do you want to see a straight show? Miss Harshwini, or do you want to see an anthro Miss Harshwini?
If you're going to horrify us, you go all the way.
Well, that's fine. I'd like to, they get the firing squad. Okay, we got one call for anthro, one call for show, two for anthro,
arsenic. Okay. Now, 3 for anthro, 4 for
anthro. I'm seeing a trend here. Oh man, that's a question.
Don't 5 for anthro. Don't fear the question. Fear the answer. 6. Okay, that sounds pretty definitive.
Okay, we're gonna do an anthro Miss Harshwini.
Or to quote what was it, Miss Peachbottom from? I've never had a prince before. No.
And that's one of those lines that the kids would probably go, huh?
The parents go back to bed.
And are busting up laughing.
Go back to bed. Your mommy's watching her picture show.
Yes. Well, that's kind of like in my Equestria Dreamscape. It got to the point now where it was kind of a mutual proposal, but Big Mac...
Whichever is most horrid.
Miss Shirley and Big Mac are going to be tying the knot. And it is something that Apple Bloom is very, very ambivalent about.
Miss Cheerly, I thought you were a spinster. Yeah. What? Mom grades your schoolwork.
Yeah.
When your mom is a child psychologist.
Yeah.
You remember Johnny?
Yeah.
His mother was a child psychologist.
This
explains much.
It also explains some of the reasons why she had an interest in talking to me on several occasions about, so tell me more about these dreams you have. It's like, oh.
harsh when he has to be a cougar. Oh, the cougarist.
Yes.
Let's see what else we got here. Ooh. I now have a mental image of Fancy Pants and Daring Do reluctantly working together to accomplish some mutual goal in some exotic locale, with Fancy being voiced by Sean Connery. That would be scary. Although Trevor Duvall does such a good
Trevor
job.
did an excellent job.
Oh, if any of you haven't seen it, a little bit that I'm very proud of my part in it. If you go to Dusty Cat's channel, you will see the fakey commercial for the Canterlot Haberdashery.
It was an excellent little bit of work.
It's a fakey commercial of Fancy Pants. Doing a thing for Canterlot Haberdashery where stallions go to be treated like royalty. Quite. We got Trevor Duvall to do the voicing of it. So it is Fancy Pants. It is the voice actor. And people in the comments like, God, that sounds like Trevor Duvall. That's because it is Trevor Duvall. And I did the music and I did the script. I did all the writing, and I'm very proud of that. So
Good night, Monkey. Glad you could join us tonight.
yeah, actually, Cat's Paw, can you dig up a link to Canterlot Haberdashery? And share that with her. It is a riot.
Yes. Because Trevor did do such a good job.
Oh yeah, he was totally into it. And it took a while to get it animated. There was one of those projects that it went through a couple different animators, that started and stopped, and then we, then disappeared from the face of the earth, and then we got another one and the whole bit. But let's see. Actually, maybe I can dig it up here. How about there? Canterlot Haberdashery. And bam! First hit. Copy. Don't play it.
Oh yes, YouTube's. Do you want me to play this? No, wait. Oh.
You can actually, if you were logged in as an account, do an autoplay or not. There we go. There you go. The Canterlot Haberdashery. Bing. There you go. So that was great fun.
Yes, I do hope that we see Fancy Pants again.
And that he's portrayed nicely.
Yes.
Speaking of BAM, isn't it time for the sponsor? Well, you are right. You are right, Generic. Thank you.
Yes.
I'm going to click
This is
on...
why I love you guys. You guys are great.
Yeah, we get to delegate. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that. And that. And like it says on the screen, thank you to the sponsor, University Art, a place that Baron worked at for 20 years.
And that in itself is an amazing...
Yeah.
They put up with me.
Yeah, and they said there are some really good people that are working there. Hi, Mike. And again, high-end framing, high-end art supplies, lots of demos and seminars, stores in Palo Alto.
No, Redwood City.
Redwood City, yeah, okay.
Redwood City is the headquarters now.
Yeah, Redwood City and Sacramento and San Jose. So.
Yes. Actually, while we're bringing that question up, I'd like to throw something out to my viewers and everything. We had my wife Smudge on last stream, and people seem to have enjoyed that. I have been courting the idea of contacting some other artists I know. They're not necessarily folks in fandom, but they're folks that I think are pretty cool. Folks might enjoy. And some of them are from the fine arts community, but some of them are like Jeff Braunschweiber, the assistant manager at University Art. He's as big of a geek as we are. And he's done things like teach classes at the Rosicrucian Egyptian Museum in San Jose and everything about Egyptian art and hieroglyphics and everything like that. And would people maybe, if I could get some of these folks to come on the show as guests, would you guys find that interesting? Would you enjoy that?
Oh, I'd be cool with that. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, in case folks haven't heard about the Rosicrucian Museum, Rosicrucians are modern mystics who keep alive the old religions and practice them. You know, basically saying, you know, you got it right the first time. And again, they're thoroughly modern, and you know, they will smile and nod their heads up and down. It's like, yeah, I understand this is weird, but practicing Zoroastrianism and the old Egyptian religions and all that, and they have an excellent museum in San Jose. Yeah, it supposedly is where all the ley lines, all the magic force lines come together. There's like an intersection of several of them supposedly in San Jose, and they built a museum there. But again, it's one of the best collections if you're into Egyptology at all. If you're into Egypt, the study of old civilizations, they have so many cool things. You know, they have so they have things like the clay, Sanskrit tablets, all that, supposedly written by Nebuchadnezzar himself.
Well, they had the one case where they did the X-ray on one of their mummies a while ago and looked and said, oh, "Wait a minute, the way this is buried." In fact, they sent it back. They sent it back to Egypt. They said, "We think this is royalty," and they said the right thing to do is return it to Cairo, which they did.
Yeah. Well, again, because they take this stuff seriously. They also attempt to do the right thing when a situation like that comes up. You know, and again, they know they're going to be ridiculed for it. It's like, yeah, whatever, you know. Yeah. And so again, when I was there at the museum, I got visiting there, I got a chance to talk to someone. I was like, you guys are pretty cool. It's like, thanks, we try to be. Yeah. But yeah, they're not like just say weirdos in funny robes. Like, no, they're just people. So.
Well, and they do a certain amount where they almost get a pass for living history, where they try to figure out, okay, well, how would you, with the materials they had, done this? And that was like some of the stuff that Jeff did. The concept of, I'm going to reach over here a moment, a little bit off camera here for a moment, come back, I'll probably get my hair in the camera. Pardon with me of this, folks. This, the paintbrush. You know, you see pictures from the Renaissance, Middle Ages, paintbrushes, We've always had paintbrushes. Paintbrushes aren't something that came into existence until about 500 BC, and that was in China. And then they made their way west. So how did you go about painting pigment onto walls if you don't have a paintbrush? Well, they would take a twig and they would chew on it until they got frayed.
They just smush it up.
Smush up, and they would use that. And Jeff has actually gone through and done experiments with, okay, how am I going to, and how do I make this work? How do you mix with the very limited palette of pigments, get the results that you need? And so it's very, very fascinating. Another, I don't know if she would ever want to be on the stream or not, but one of my friends, Ajay King, who worked at University Art for over a decade, is very much into encaustic. Now, that'd be very hard to demo here in the studio because there's a lot of setup that's involved with it. But she does a lot of work with melted beeswax and pigment and does some of the most amazing art with it.
Yeah. Well, that's actually something that's going to be a project for me, is to create sort of a portable streaming rig. Let's say one with 3 cameras and 3 mics or something like that. That can just like shove in a backpack and then stream over a high quality, like LTE connection. And that would be something we could also just set up downstairs in the man cave, on the big table down there. Yeah. And if we ever do live, as it was live D&D or radioactive Roan or radioactive ponies games or something like that, it would be downstairs. Just use that rig.
Yeah, there was so many things we just it's always been in our lives, and you go, no, this hasn't always been there. And before
Then of course it goes the other way. There's stuff that we think is thoroughly modern. It's like try 3000 BC.
Yeah. That's what I love about history. I love studying, and when nothing else, it gives you a respect for your ancestors. They got by with a lot less than we have.
And say actually, you know what became before the paintbrush? The airbrush.
Yeah,
There was
making hand stencils on the wall.
well, they found some examples of old. Obviously it was you blow the stuff through the tube, and instead of just like loading up a mouthful of your favorite toxic paint, like no, they were using a venturi.
Yeah.
They had a little they had a little as a little area carved out that you put the pigment into, and as you blew on the straw, it went past the opening, and the venturi pulled it out and atomized it, just like a paintbrush.
Well, there's
or an airbrush rather.
Yeah.
And this was 35,000 years old in caves in the south of France. You know?
There's a tool I used quite a bit in college called a mouth atomizer, where you stick one end into a jar where you have your liquid, and then you put the other tube in your mouth, and you just remember not to inhale when you have the and you blow, and it's a primitive airbrush, because I had an instructor that we could not use traditional fixatives in the class because they were very, very sensitive to chemicals, and we had to use skimmed milk and distilled water. And we used to spray that on our drawings as a fixative.
Yeah, well, again, that goes back 35,000 years. They found them.
Yeah.
So, like I said, you're using some of the oldest technology known to humanity.
Yep. Your own lung power.
Say right past bang the rock to make it make it sharp, and rub the sticks together to make them catch on fire. It was the airbrush.
We as a species have always had a need to have to express ourselves.
Well, exactly.
So I'm making a traditionally grumpy Miss Harshwinny.
Yeah. Well, there you go. There's again 40,000 year old what can only be described as furry art, because it's anthropomorphic animals getting to know each other very well. In caves in the south of France. Like, okay, this is like the oldest form of art there is. So screw you guys.
Hello,
Yes. Greetings. I'll leave that to you.
Dave.
Hi, Dave.
Defective device.
Oh,
okay.
defective device. Okay.
Okay, there you go.
There we go. Is your first time here?
Yeah. Welcome.
Don't let us razz you.
I'm Baron. This is Caradwin over here. We do this every other Saturday night.
Yep. And Disney still claims copyright on the cave drawings.
Well, I'm glad you joined us tonight.
Oh, you're not putting her in a virgin killer, are you?
No, I'm not putting her in a virgin killer.
Okay, thank God.
No. This is a variation on what she would wear around the office. Kind of taking the jacket and the scarf and the white blouse.
My name is Ozymandias, King of Kings. Look upon my works, ye mighty, and leave your comments in the chat box below.
And don't forget to subscribe.
Yeah, there you go. Never mind the cougar status, go straight for Smilodon. That's right. Miss Harshwinny is actually a vampire with the great big teeth. Blah, 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 blah.
It has been very amusing in my dreamscape because we're now finally in season 4 and dealing with Flutterbat. And how that played out just a bit differently than the series did.
Corwin brings up a very valid point. The virgin killer will be perfect for anthro-species with wings.
Yes, it would. Look,
Although maybe a little bit better fitted around the butt.
Right. But here's some space. Because boy, I tell you, designing pictures with winged characters wearing any kind of top gets very, very interesting. I mean, I've done 3 or 4 attempts, and I haven't been happy with any of them, so I haven't posted them yet. Celestia and a corset.
Celestia in a booby dress.
Mm-hmm.
Celestia goes to the Ren Fair.
Yeah.
Did Flutterbat go for Big Mac's cutie mark? I've seen a lot of art of Big Mac's butt getting bitten, you know.
No, not that.
But he did. The jewels. Nope.
He did, but she did go after some apples. We'll leave it at that.
Yeah, inconstant lady now with Discorder. Yeah, so it's actually, Lars, is actually what the biggest challenge is going to be multiple cameras, because USB cameras really like to be, not connected to a hub, even if it's a powered hub, but rather to something that's jacked straight into the motherboard. And just how many can you do that with if it's a laptop?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm keeping my eye out for laptops with at least four USB ports. The alternative was going to be a MacBook with a Thunderbolt docking station that can have up to like 7. But yeah, there would need to be at least 4 USB ports for 3 cameras and a USB mixer, for the mics.
See, once again, folks, when I talk about this whole thing of, boy, it sure is great that I have Carriedwin here to help me with the technology, that's what I'm talking about. Because I can focus on doing the art here. And Carriedwin here takes care of a lot of the tech and helps us provide great ambient background noise while we're working.
Yep. So Lars, I actually have several mini ITX systems. I really like the shuttle, like DS81 and the DS710 or 170 and all that. Problem is they're not self-powered. And so yeah, it's going to be a laptop.
Okay, defective design, want to step in. This particular one right here, this is just simply something I'm doing because this guy opened his mouth earlier in the evening.
I tend to do horrible things like that.
I do have an Equestria Dreamscape. It's been going on since 2011. If you go to my DeviantArt page and look at my gallery, you'll see one gallery folder called MLP Dreamscape. I'm a lucid dreamer. I can remember my dreams, and if I have a dream, I'll wake up, remember it, and then the next night when I go to sleep, I'll quite often go right back to that same dream location or dreamscape, and I'll pick up the story where I left off that night before. So, stories that, things that happened literally years ago in the dreamscape have relevance. I have a job there. I live in Ponyville. Yes, I work for Rainbow Dash as a weather pony. And, people are growing up, things are happening, events are changing in the world, and some of it is kind of tracking the show script, and other things have just kind of gone off on their own little path. Apple Bloom is living a life that she'll never have in the show.
Yeah, Foxfire. That's what I'm thinking is, the old, let's say, is a couple generations old MacBook Pro, and any of half a dozen different manufacturers make Thunderbolt-based docking stations. You can cram as many, like 7 USB 3.0 devices on it, which would be perfect. And again, it's self-powered, battery. So that that's probably what it's going to end up being. It's just a matter of choosing all the peripheral components correctly.
Yeah, defective. I have over 1,500 postings on my DeviantArt. That's why I broke things out into galleries so people could hopefully find something in a more timely fashion. I'm probably actually going to split my MLP one into MLP and MLP Anthro. But if you go to the MLP Dreamscape one and go to the very beginning, that will be literally the first posting. And you can take it from there. The MLP one will have stuff that is kind of related to the Dreamscape, but it's not in sequence with the events that are happening at the moment. The Dreamscape postings are up to basically heading towards the end of Season 2 at the moment. Hey, bro, welcome.
Welcome.
crap, I cranked this out faster than I thought. I thought I was running out of time.
Yeah. Oh no, you got plenty of time.
Look at me.
Well, it's either that or you're so horrified that you're going past him.
Hey.
Wow. Basically a couple of Patreon commissions. We have one from Rebel Squirrel of his Fox Bandit,
And I did one of McClaw's.
and one of Mr. McClaw's, and the cocktail of the week is the whiskey sour.
And hello, Umbron. Is this your first time here? If so, welcome to the stream. To answer, where was it there? Someone was asking the question. Where was my dreamscape? Oh, McClaw. Yeah. Right now, I'm in season 4, heading towards mid-season. Postings on the Dreamscape, of course, on DeviantArt are still in season 2.
So about a year and a half. Yeah, let's see, what else we got? Yeah, Lars is on Discord. I'm Kerwin. I don't spend too much time hanging out there, but yeah. Miss Harshwinny, what Dolores Umbridge works on the side? What happens when Dolores Umbridge works on the side of good? Well, hello, Umbrian. Umbrian is new here. I'm just going to watch real quick because this looks amazing. Well, Baron uses this modern tablet called Paper. Yeah, I'm the weirdo over here. I'm Caradwin. I'm basically the Ed McMahon to his Johnny Carson, and congratulations if you're old enough to know what that means.
And we do this every other Saturday.
I say Baron draws. I play piano and click buttons on. Actually, I'm gonna click some buttons right now to zoom in on the drawing, and pretty much we hang out.
This is what I do for a living. I'm an artist.
Yeah.
I'm a commercial illustrator. Who happens to love sci-fi fandom, My Little Pony, anime.
Giving H.R. Giger nightmares.
Oh yeah, I can draw some creepy stuff.
Yeah. Oh God, I'm telling you.
One of the things I may get a chance to do this year is the Triton Museum does a Halloween art live draw, and I may be on the short list for people to come in.
Well, that'd be cool.
Yeah, and I've been told we want to see your creepy stuff. Okay.
Oh, you asked for it.
Yeah.
If you say his name 3 times, he's invited into your home.
Yes. Of which, looking at the schedule, it does look like, make a little plug here for University Art. On June 3rd, in San Jose, they're going to be doing the University Art Trade Fair. And at the moment, I have been asked to come in and actually do some demonstrations. And that will be the same day as the stream, the first stream in June. So I'm going to be there all day, then I'll pack up around 3:30 in the afternoon and then head over here and we'll do a stream that evening. And I might even get a chance to record some stuff there on site. So yeah, a little bit of like, here's what I was doing earlier in the day.
Keep forgetting who she is and that she's not a raccoon. Well, the mask would tend to do that. That's it. She impersonates a raccoon.
Yeah.
All right. We shall see you later, Mr. Impossible.
Yes.
And we will see you in 2 weeks, we hope.
Well, on June 3rd, if you don't happen to catch it, you can go to this Picardo channel, and the new Picardo settings will keep the last 12 episodes in archive. And my wife is putting up all of our episodes on the Smudge Marks and Ingleworks website, or the there's a YouTube channel for Smudge Marks and Ingleworks, so you can catch it there. So even if you miss it, you can come back and see it later.
Rebel, I
very, very rarely do what I would call composition. I just do stuff that off the cuff that kind of sounds kind of okay. Orca says, one of Smudge's animations appears to have disappeared from your channel. Do you know what's up with that?
Which one is that?
Oh, yeah, which one? Okay.
Oh, no, well, Renderson the Bartender. Well, that's interesting because it was up.
Yeah. We'll ask Smudge.
Yeah, I'll ask her tonight.
Yep. Maybe like it was marked private or something. It has been made private.
Okay. I will ask her if that was something she intended to do or something.
Should make an intro video for your channel explaining lucid dreaming and dreamscapes.
Mm-hmm.
That might be a thing to do.
Yeah, it might be.
I'll do the music for it.
Yeah. It's.
Yeah. Oh, possible accidental upload of the first draft, in which maybe why it was marked private or something.
Right. I'll double check with her. We have had some problems on occasion with a couple of things where people we have the rights to use some music, and someone said, "Oh, you're using that music wrong." I said, "No, we have the rights." And it happened often enough that we had to go talk to YouTube, and YouTube said, "Look, you're putting original content up. We're just going to flag this as quit bothering these people." And that's why we have the capacity to upload multi-hour videos to YouTube because we're generating original content, and they want to support that kind of stuff.
C, not G. C.
And we're going to rotate this so I get my shading going in the right direction.
Yeah, one of three of Smudge's videos is public. The other two are private.
Okay.
Yep.
We'll go through and see what's up with that. That's something we just recently started.
See you later, Jarrell.
Glad you could join us.
Public video with the coyotes.
I'm not a coyote. I'm a Nottawanu.
You were involved in that one.
Yeah, and I was very drunk at the time, and I disavowed.
Yeah.
I was the bear.
And I was saying, you are not.
Yes, you were one of the coyotes.
Yeah, that wasn't it wasn't what I called my best work.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's okay. Yes, Umbreon likes your shading work. Yeah, Baron has really made a study of how light works on various fabrics, textures, leather, and other.
Do you say
As opposed to, which is different from the way it reflects off of rubber and vinyl.
Yes.
Yes, it is. And Baron one day will explain exactly how in loving, excruciating detail with examples and shiny pony butts.
Or shiny all kinds of butts.
Oh, there you go. There's your tutorial. Just do 3 pony butts in a row. This one is leather. This one is vinyl.
Well,
this one is rubber.
Well, it's like the one Fluttershy in boots, Fluttershy in socks. Know the difference.
Yeah. No, the difference. You know what I'm referring to.
Mm-hmm.
Weasel.
That's right.
Don't go sticking weasels in your mouth.
That's right.
Know the difference. It is commented that you are smoking fast tonight.
Yeah, I got over 20 minutes.
Yeah.
I'll get this one done.
Baron's pen scratching sounds like a dog panting.
It's all a matter of spacing on pressure. I'm using the same lead. This is a 2B 0.5 mechanical lead pen, and it's all a matter of how I vary my pressure and space my lines that I get my different effects.
To be? That's not to be. God, what a question.
Oh, yes. When I was in art school, I had one instructor where I had a drill I had to do where we would draw a 5-inch box, and then we would do a series of 5-inch boxes, and we had one where we had to do lines spaced as close as possible to half an inch apart. Then we had to do a box where we had to do lines spaced as close as possible, a 1/4 inch apart. You'd go and you'd measure. Then 1/8 of an inch, then a 16th, then a 32nd, and that's how we learned line control. And I did hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of boxes. And so I'm using the direction of the shading lines to basically define shape and form. On the legs and everything. I'm going to rotate my drawing around here again. It'll be easier to get this in. And I'm actually going to block in my calf inner shade here first. That'll give me a little bit more context when I'm going along. That sounded like almost Lord of the Rings.
It is.
Love the soundtrack. And of course, I've gotten kind of good at being able to do this quick because I charge by the hour. So the faster I can get work done, the faster I can move on to other.
Yeah, Lars is just right. That was sort of the Fellowship of the Ring opening bit. Yeah. Actually, one of the folks we know, Brian, not our Brian T, saw the Lord of the Rings soundtrack performed live conducted by Howard Shore by the
the composer?
Yeah, at the New York Philharmonic.
Oh, that would have been impressive.
It was like 5 hours long. He did the whole thing, just with a couple of breaks. So speaking of which, you had another 15 minutes,
yes.
And apparently it was quite a show.
Mm-hmm.
This day is going to be perfect. I would have to research that because it does all kinds of funky stuff with chord changes and stuff. And it's not baby chords. I do baby chords. It's and it is apparently packed full of musical puns.
Mm-hmm.
The one that I say the one that everybody, well, that a lot of music students picked up on is let's see, a sequence goes like let's see, how does it?
Boom, boom, boom.
It was B flat. That is a cadence. That is a false cadence because it goes in reverse order of the normal chord progression. And Chrysalis's aria at the very end ends in a oh, instead of a oh. That is a false cadence, and she was being a false cadence.
Yes.
And actually, Danny Ingram did that. Was Danny Ingram or was that Stephen Andrews?
I don't think that was Ingram.
That was Ingram, yeah. So and so he just snuck that in there. No one's going to get this. This is going to be my little joke. And 5 hours after the episode on Twitter, it's like, Danny, we know what you did, Danny. And he's like, you got it. I love you guys.
Yeah.
So. I hope he's played.
Glad you like it, Sylvan. I'll probably throw this up on the Smooth store at some point in a few weeks, along with a whole bunch of other stuff. My wife's still going through and uploading old artwork because there's still about another probably 50 pieces of mine she needs to put on the storefront.
Now, I say personally, there's some people that don't like the ambitious musical episodes. I love them.
Mm-hmm.
I love them. I mean, going back to season 1 nowadays is kind of the shows are very, very, very different in texture.
Mm-hmm.
But I still really like the art of the dress, dressing or suited for success.
Or Winter Wrap Up, the fact that they were willing to do that for a season 1 episode. And of course, for season 2, for me, it's still Smile, Smile, Smile. And that's still, I think, one of those iconic songs from the series. I think it so well defines the character Pinkie Pie. Let's see here, we got 15. Oh, yeah, we're...
Winter's messed up, I'm paraphrasing what they sung. Yeah. That was a riot. That was one of...
Dusty was in that.
Well, Dusty was in it. Eileen Monty, and of course... oh, geez, brain does Vinyl Scratch so well. Having a senior moment. What is her name?
Oh, I know you're talking. Ray. I just had the name on my my tongue and I lost it.
Yeah. No whacking. Thank you for saving that brain cell. Yeah. That was one of Animated James.
Yes.
Yeah. What about Winter Wrap Up done in the style of Rimsky-Korsakov? I have a Rimsky-Korsakov story. Because I'm an old guy and I've got all kinds of stories.
Yeah, well, old guys have old stories.
Let me tell you about my Rimsky-Korsakov story. A while ago, I worked at a company that was doing, malware detection. And I was the QA director. And I hired Sasha. Sasha was about my age. He was Russian. His background included Spetsnaz, which is basically Russians above Marines but below Delta Force.
Mm-hmm.
So they're basically hardcore soldiers. And he had served in the Soviet Army back in the early 80s. And that was the era when, they were getting their butts kicked in Afghanistan and when there was trouble on the border with Manchuria and with the Chechens. He had dealt firsthand with insurgents in Chechnya. And back when that Boston Marathon bombing took place, where it turned out to be a bunch of Chechens that did it, he was glued to the screen. He was like, Sasha, you're scaring me. But Sasha had stayed in the army. In Russia, Soviet Union at the time, you had to do your 2 years of national service. But if you stayed longer, I think it was completed 6 years, I think, one of the things that you got as a mustering out benefit was a letter that would get you into any university in the Soviet Union. And Sasha's first love is music. And he went to the Rimsky-Korsakov School of Classical Music. Now, Rimsky-Korsakov was a fellow who was operating in the late 1800s, early 1900s that came up with the modern method of teaching orchestration. Mm-hmm. So, he's got his background in classical music and all that. But he also does a lot of keyboard work and a lot of rock. His band opened for Pink Floyd when Pink Floyd was touring the world and did a show in Moscow. This is a guy that ended up working for me. It's really, really cool. So I loved it because the very first day that he actually started the job, he did the interview thing, and he got along great. He shows up, and there's a bottle of Don Julio 1942 tequila, which is it's a premium tequila. It's like $100 a bottle, sitting on my desk. And I'm like, who put this there? And Sasha's like, you'll need this once in a while, And so I went and introduced him to Jack Daniel's Single Barrel, which he thought the world of. And whenever we'd had a rough day, about 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, he'd show up and hang over the cue wall and say, "It is time." And that was when we busted out our bottles and poured a shot or two and just relaxed.
Chilled.
He was a joy to work with.
I never had a chance to meet Sasha.
Well, one of these days that might happen still.
Okay, he sounds like a fascinating fellow.
He's so laid back, and so easy to go along with, which is why it was kind of scary to see the veins on his neck stand up when he found out that the Boston Marathon bombing was done by Chechens. And it's like he had, apparently the day or the week there was an incident in which a bunch of Chechen insurgents took over, I think it was either a hospital or a school in Moscow. Yes. Basically to show the Russians, we can strike you into the heart of Moscow and you can't stop us. And they killed a bunch of people. Mm-hmm. The week before that happened, he was still active military, and he and some of his folks had caught some of the Chechens, down in Chechnya that were, being insurgents. They would just laugh at it and say, "You're going to see some news in a few days." Mm-hmm. And then the massacre happened, because they killed all the kids that they kidnapped. And ever since then, I was like, he has had this smoking hatred of all things Chechen. It's not how I would want to be in the world, but I understand. Mm-hmm. Because apparently these guys knew and were just taunting him. I was like, holy crap. Mm-hmm. I hope I never face something that hardcore in my life.
Yep.
So.
All right. Well, we got this. We got some time to clean a few things up here.
Yeah. Spetsnaz musician. The AK-47 has a very limited repertoire. All it can play is "Come to Christ."
Ow! We'll tidy this up here. I think that's a respectable Miss Harshwinny. She looks like she's very unhappy with somebody, and their probably annual performance review is going to be.
Your performance is inadequate.
Substandard. Yeah. So we can tidy. So let's put some definition in on like the seaming of the shoulders here, the jacket, and do some things like that. Make this look a little bit more.
Yeah. Yeah. Hasn't there already been a little bit of material done in Toon Boom from the MLP staff and release? I know that Toon Boom was used in some of the recent fan animations.
Yeah, and the movie's going to be done in Toon Boom.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just wondering if they've done anything else in Toon Boom.
Don't know. It is interesting looking at the model designs. There's going to be some changes to the basic character designs for the movie. Some of that is simply the evolution into Toon Boom. They can do things that they couldn't do in Flash. I mean, the fact that they've been able to pull off what they have in Flash is nothing short of amazing. Of which, I have to ask my watchers out there, because I haven't had a chance to see it. Have you seen the new Samurai Jack?
That's supposed to be coming in April too, yeah.
Well, apparently it's they've already done at least one airing of something.
Oh, I'm gonna have to track it down.
Yeah.
I am so hyped for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, The Moon Rises by Duo Cartoonists, was in Toon Boom.
Hi, Boss Good.
Hello.
Welcome back. I think you were here last stream, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. Oh, Orca, you're watching Samurai Jack right now. I hate you. Well, so I see what I'm going to watch later on tonight. For the RPG 7 you use for the bassoon parts. I'm not in a position to record it somewhere where I can play it back later. That's okay. I can hunt it down.
Yeah. We'll hunt it down.
Yeah. Oh, samurai, foolish samurai. Apparently, they got Phil Lamar to do the.
Really?
Well, Phil Lamar was always Jack.
Yeah.
But no, sorry, it wasn't Phil Lamar. It was doing Aku. They found another guy that
Michael.
Lamar said this guy's going to be really good. It's like you can't replace Mako, but this guy's going to be really good.
All right.
Yeah, so I want to see that so bad. Yeah. So what else we got here? Yeah. So rooting for the movie. Hope it's a good story. Instead of look at me, I'm a movie.
Okay.
I've got good hopes for it because MK Toon is executive producer and he loves his ponies.
Yes. Sarah, contact me after the stream. We got someone claiming dibs on.
Yeah. As, yeah, there's a little question on the finger position on the hand on.
Yeah, I'm gonna go back in. I'm gonna tweak that. So I got that kind of going bad backwards, but I'll fix that all up.
Yeah, that's a hard pose to do. A hard hand pose.
Yeah, this hand's good. This hand I'm not as happy. I'll tweak with it.
Well, you would see the thumb.
Yes.
That's the thing. You would see the thumb. The thumb would lie along the bone on the lower arm.
Thumbs are facing inward.
Yeah. Well, it depends if you do this there, or if you're doing this,
Yeah,
or this,
I've got kind of
or
like
this, or this, or
Yeah.
this, or this, or this, or this, or this, or that.
I want to tweak it a little bit. I'm just not quite happy with the jointing and everything, so I will go in. I got one extra finger on her. How did that happen? Let's get that out of her.
Will season 8 be Toon Boom also?
Don't know. They may be making the jump, saying, "Hey, look, we got
It would be an awkward time to do it. It would depend. I would say yes if they're going to do season 9.
Mm-hmm.
No, otherwise, because otherwise you have this huge disruption between the seasons.
Right. Maybe they are.
We'll see.
Maybe we'll. Wasn't it way back in season 1 at the first BronyCon when Mike Vogel was on the panel and he made the joke? Oh yeah, season 12, Spike and Rarity are married.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who knows? We'll have to see.
Well, again, as long as we, the fans, keep rewarding Hasbro in the form of buying licensed stuff.
I like that idea. I think I'll do that.
Yeah.
Put a folder in their hand.
Yeah.
I can adjust and change actually pretty easily.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's go darker. Like a little bit racing out, and away we go.
Yeah. So again, as long as we make Hasbro happy, by buying licensed stuff, then they're going to keep doing it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So it's a toy commercial. Well, yes, it is. Thank you very much.
Good of you to notice.
Yeah.
Now that being said, we've been buying their merch.
Yep.
They've actually been very, very happy with
their
sales.
Well, their stuff has gotten better and better and better. And of course, the other thing that we need to reward Hasbro for doing, and this is something where they are the pioneers.
Yes.
Is licensed fan created material. By that I mean the We Love Fine stuff and the Shapeways stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They were the first to do that whole thing and said, okay, we're going to take our intellectual property, we're going to let fans make art of it, we're going to let a licensed third party vet and produce the material. We will vet the stuff there, and then the fans will get paid and we'll get paid, and the We Love Fines and Shapeways will get paid.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see how this settles out. And the rest of the industry is watching very carefully.
Also, just really how
they're very brave.
Yeah,
there's potential court issues there.
Right, and just the fact that they've lost characters in court.
Yeah, well, they've lost some of the trademarks to Applejack and Fluttershy, which is why you didn't see much Applejack and Fluttershy merch in the first couple of seasons, and they had to ransom it back because of badly written contracts in Eastern Europe, I think.
Yeah,
and there's others. They lost they lost trademark to several of the Transformer characters by not aggressively enough defending it.
Right, and at the same time, Hasbro is willing to let people like me, I get to draw your characters and do all kinds of stuff with them. And if I was doing back in the 1980s, if I was doing the stuff with Disney, put it up online, and you'd get a cease and desist within probably a week.
So the papers will follow. She holds it that way. Well, that's why she's mad, is because the papers aren't there anymore.
Yes. In fact, let's do that. I like
have some of them fluttering to the ground.
Yes.
Yeah. So.
We're making this up as we're going along here, boys
Absolutely,
and girls. Sometimes spontaneousness is what you need.
And don't forget the fracas with Coco Pamel.
Yep.
Ms. Pamel. Yeah, screw that.
Yeah.
It's like, because there's likely to be significant crossover between buyers of Chanel and My Little Pony toys. Again, it's just lawyers trying desperately to justify their existence. And usually it's not the parent company that's the problem. It's they'll just hire a law firm and say, keep an eye on things and make sure we don't run into problems. And of course that means that the law firm in question has to occasionally justify their existence by doing a takedown. And sometimes they're not very discriminate in what they do.
Yeah.
On the other hand, there have been law firms booted from being the official corporate law firm for being too aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you're pissing off our fans. That's more important.
Yeah.
So like I said, MK Toon is largely responsible for Hasbro being as brave as it is, and he deserves a cookie. You all owe him a cookie.
And he's a nice guy, and he loved his scotch. Oh, was that Stefan?
That's Stefan.
Stefan loves.
Well, Stefan loves his scotch and your scotch too.
Yes.
If anybody out there ever wants to get on Stefan Andrews' good side, buy him a bottle of scotch that is old enough to take to bed.
Mm-hmm.
He likes old scotches. He particularly likes Islay scotches. Those are the ones that
bilge water,
swamp water. That's an Islay right there.
Yeah, but see that's not even junior high.
Yeah, that's but he is a serious single malt Scotch snob, and so you get him something 18 years old or older, 16 in Arkansas.
Mm-hmm. Hey, veteran,
and he will be your bestest friend forever.
Mm-hmm.
And let me tell you, that man can put it away.
Yes, he can. And so hold on a coherent conversation. Okay, well, we're at 8:30 now, so let's break.
Yeah. Hey, veteran, you're just in time for the break.
Yes, we'll be back in 5.
All right. And what are you going to do in the next segment?
I think for the next segment, I'm going to do a request.
Uh-oh.
You
guys start thinking about your question. Don't tell us yet.
Yep.
Don't tell us yet.
So basically, when we come back from the break, then I'm going to ask you guys what you want to see for the last hour, and I'll see if I can crank it out.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Who's back? You're back. I'm back. He's back.
And our sides and fronts, too.
Yeah, that too.
Yes.
Almost worked.
Yes.
So how are folks doing?
You all ready for the last hour?
Yeah. I'm not going to describe what I did previously as a suggestion, but I'll skip it. But all right, folks, let us have it.
Yeah.
He's taking a request.
Yes.
1, 2, 3, go.
Let's see it.
What you got? What you got, Tater Tot?
Got one crescent for push pull. Fire Bonbon. We got Zikora.
Doipy, the last Terrakian. To defend, this is the Pact.
Yes.
Ride of the Lisa Frank Valkyries. Jessica Knight meeting Rosemary Parker. Baron Tongue Patina, you want me to draw what?
Yeah.
He'll draw it.
Yeah.
How about drawing Fluttershy surrounded by breezes?
Okay.
Let's see, Anthrobat.
Timberwolf chasing Angel.
Timberwolf catching Angel.
Yes.
The Zikora sounds good. Twilight receives basket of patina marshmallows. Anthro Bat Pony, Power Ponies.
Yes, Power Ranger.
Another vote for, let's see, for Derpy the Last Terrakian. Rough Rider Teddy Roosevelt Ponified. You are truly horrifying, generic. Pony Mom, go!
Buttons Mom.
A pony in a Red Note and Deerstalker a la Sherlock. Buttons Mom, because she's got it going. Another Derpy the Last Terrakian.
Yeah, I had to do some homework.
Discord annoying. Well, that's easy. That's actually easy enough to do. The heavy metal poster.
Ah, yes.
Look up Steve Martin. Search for Heavy Nim.
Yes. So the Terrakian, yes. Okay, yes. That could be.
Yeah, that was Tarna.
Yeah, Tarna. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yes.
It's just if you search for say for Heavy Nim, Steve Martin did one way back, a different Steve Martin, and captured the poster perfectly with Mrs. Brisby. That's the one. And go. That's the one.
Okay. That could be. But it doesn't have much of the outfit though. But we could still probably.
Well, of course, what you could do is you could put Spike on Derpy's back and have Derpy be Jeremy.
Possible too. That's another possibility too.
Derpy, as voiced by Dom DeLuise.
Yeah, we want Derpy. Derpy Terrakian. Okay, are we talking about show Derpy, or once again we're talking Anthro Derpy?
Is she the rider or the ridden?
Yes.
Derpy is best Terrakian.
that I'll need to know.
To Derp Fend. This is the pact.
Mm-hmm.
But when life scorned and damage done. To avenge, this is the Derp.
Yes.
Boom, boom,
Yeah, got one for show, one for non-anthro.
So, got, let's see, show, anthro, show, anthro. 2 and 2, we're tied. Derpy will be riding outside now, yeah. 2 and 2, anthro versus quadruped. 3 for anthro. Okay. Come on, let's get a little bit more. Come on. 3 and 3. Flip a coin. So riding, that would be anthro and show. And I don't recall seeing anthro derp. Anthro bat. Show to balance out the anthro.
Yes.
Anthro, 5 and 5. Pony versus dark. Show, anthro. Never mind, show.
I think we're gonna go show.
Excellent.
We'll go with show.
All right. Now, let me go ahead then and switch views, and we might get somebody in here to do a little show.
Yes. There's one question. How do you spell Terrakian again?
Just search for Tarna. T-A-A-R-N-A.
T-A-A-R-N-A. Tarna. Okay, let's see here. There we go. Got it. Okay.
Yep.
All right. That's what we're kind of. That's
hey, Toxic. We're about to get Baron doing some heavy metal art.
Yes.
Metal Huelan.
Yes.
And I'm going to go boom over there.
All right. Okay, so we're going to be goofing around like that. How do I want to do this? How do I want to hold this off?
And while that's going on...
Okay, I know what we're doing. I'm going
to do that.
Yes.
And I'm going to go grab somebody to show off something else that he's been up to.
Yeah, another artistic endeavor.
Make Derpy show again. Yeah, there we go. I'll be right back.
Yes. We're going to do show style. And I know what we're gonna do.
Ba-da-da-da-da.
Yes.
Hi, everybody.
And that little camera, by the way, is active too. You can
That one's back.
see. So you can.
What's up, gentlemen and ladies? What's going on? How are you doing, Baron?
I'm doing just great.
Awesome. I heard you're doing some
Yes.
heavy metal art.
Derpy.
What?
The heavy metal poster with Derpy.
Oh
Yes.
my God. Derpy as the ride or Derpy as the...
Yeah, she's the rider.
She's the rider.
Mhm.
Oh. How are you going to fit Derpy in that bikini?
No, have faith. Have faith.
Having faith.
And it's not a bird she's riding.
No,
Nope.
of course not. So how are you doing out there, everybody? I wanted to show you off what I've been doing the last couple of weeks, and that's these. These are Lunchbox guitars. Yes. If you've been following my Twitter and my YouTube, I showed you how I made this. This is actually a special one, which I made specifically for Winnie City PonyCon coming up the end of the month. This one I actually went ahead and actually painted the neck Luna Blue, and I think it makes it stand out really nice. What do you guys think?
Yep. 3-string slide guitars.
Yep, 3-string.
Is that a variant of like the cigar box?
Yes, this is a variation of cigar box guitar. In fact, this is a cigar box guitar kit that you can get from Guitar Center. And I picked one up because I was curious about it and how it was made. And when I tore the box off, you got the neck, the strings, everything else, and the pickup. And it's like, wow, I could just put that in one of these. And boy, that would be cool, wouldn't it? So I thought I would try that, and this is the second one of Luna. My prototype is back downstairs that I do all my experimenting on. So I've got this one, I've got Derpy done. I'm working on a Rarity right now, and I have a few more cans on the way. So, boy, they're lots of fun too, and they're electric because they do have a little pickup in them, so they're a lot of fun to play.
Get yourself a nice distortion box and put some crunch on it.
Yep, distortion, crunch, all kinds of stuff.
Slide tube.
Little overdrive.
Yep. And these usually get tuned to one chord. Like this one's actually G, D, G, which is of course a G chord. But if you want to play like Folsom Prison Blues, you'd go F, C, F, which is of course an F chord. And it just goes. Yeah, so I'm trying to learn that song, but it's right now I'm in the wrong key. Yep, lots of fun. What's everybody else doing out there?
Oh, now talk to this product. What was the best lunchbox you ever brought to school?
The best lunchbox I ever brought to school.
I know my answer.
Oh, I know mine.
Yeah.
What you first, Carolyn?
Speed Racer.
Nice.
I had a situation. Mine wasn't, a $6 Million Man or a Star Trek or anything like that. My dad was very much in the Southern California hot rod scene in the 50s and 60s, and he got me a plain metal lunchbox, and he took it to one of the shops that did a lot of the custom auto painting.
Oh, wow.
And had them put a flame job on this thing, and then had a guy do pinstriping on it and lettered my name and everything.
I'm surprised it didn't get stolen.
Yeah, boy, I had to work really hard to hang on to it because they airbrushed one of the Big Daddy Roth flaming eyeballs.
Nice.
Onto the.
If you still had that, that would probably be worth it.
Oh yeah, it'd be worth a lot of money. It was candy apple red with this flame job, and it was an amazing.
I never had anything that nice. I think. Yeah. What did I have? Like my. I had the banana splits. Remember that.
With Fleagle, Beagle, Drooper, and Snort.
And Snort, yeah, absolutely.
Flipping like a pancake, popping like a cork. One of the Sid and Marty Krofft,
Yeah, that's the one where they
LSD fueled.
That's the one they didn't
shows.
dip the marijuana in PCP before they wrote that.
Oh, that would be H.R. Puffin stuff.
That would be H.R. Puffin stuff or Lidsville.
H.R. Puffin stuff.
Or Sigmund and the Sea Monsters.
Oh,
yeah.
I still like Land of the Lost.
Land of the Lost was awesome, actually.
And of course, one of the early homoerotic girl pieces, Electro Woman and Dyna Girl. Those.
Yes, Cold, you just figured it out.
Yep.
She's flying a winged muffin.
Speaking of LSD, yeah.
It's no worse than apple bloom on the Derpfish.
There's your new slide, Dusty.
Nice.
It's like the knife blade slides.
Give it to me. Let's see what it does. Let's see if we can make this work.
Okay, next question. Best cereal.
Not so good. It's not.
You need smooth strings.
Well,
And
this
what
needs
you
to
do
be
is you
smooth.
hold it between your fingers like this.
Well, it needs to be. It's too edgy.
Yeah.
Needs to be round.
Yep.
Captain Planet. Best cereal is Captain Crunch, of course, or Crunch Berries.
I'm cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
I'm sure you were.
But if you want the ultimate sugar jag, that would be Fruity Pebbles.
That would be Fruity Pebbles. Fruity Pebbles was the sugar bomb.
Oh, the best part of it was you would get down to the bottom.
The dust.
You get down to the dust there, and the milk would turn this unnatural color, and you would slug it down at the end, and then oh man, you could run to the school bus, faster than a speeding bullet.
Yep.
You were powered.
Even though I have to admit, peanut butter Captain Crunch was pretty the bomb when I was a kid.
Yeah, as long as you weren't one of those Kix weenies.
Yeah, Kix was.
Yeah.
And shredded wheat was proof that your parents were abusive.
Well, we had Cinnamon Life. That was pretty good, actually.
That was okay. But let's get Mikey. He'll eat anything.
Anything.
Yeah, that was the reason why my mom bought it. If I remember correctly.
Fruity Pebbles was just. Ugh.
It was the sugar bomb.
It was. Gotta learn that one. The best prize you ever got from a cereal box. Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, send in 4 box tops.
No, actually, I don't remember the cereal, but they actually gave you one of those baking soda submarines
Those were cool.
in the box.
Those were cool.
You didn't have to send away for it. It was in the box with the cereal.
Oh, okay. Well, one of the ones I had thing I could send away for it was, remember those water rockets?
Yeah.
When you put the water in, you pumped it.
Yeah.
You pumped it, you shot
Those
it
are
up,
awesome.
and it would go swing around and hit. You just get stuck on the roof, then you screamed at Dad till Dad got a ladder and went down and got
Yeah,
it.
we did that with lawn jarts.
Yeah. I had one of those. I got one of those actually through one of those. Sending the box hops things, and I remember I had that for a couple of months, and then one day I took a pot shot at one of my sisters
And that was the end of that.
inside the house
Oh, God.
with it,
You're goofy.
which sent this wonderful stream of water shooting down the entire length of the house.
So it was Captain Crunch. Someone just said they got the submarine out of Captain Crunch. I thought it was Captain Crunch, but I wasn't sure.
It makes sense, submarine, maritime, Captain Crunch.
Let's see, there was Count Chocula,
Blueberry.
Blueberry, and what was the pink one?
Frankenberry.
Frankenberry.
I can still remember those.
Yeah, they were pretty awful, weren't they?
They were, but
Oh,
they
so
were.
Frankenberry was the worst.
Well, yeah, it was that kind of trying to be strawberry and
Yeah,
Failing.
what flavor was it? Pucker.
yeah, sugar.
Yeah, I'm still trying to learn to play this thing, guys, so I'm just sort of messing around.
Making noise.
Making noise.
I suffered for my art, now it's your turn. Darn, only 2 mics.
Yep. So, any questions, seeing as I'm sitting here, anybody got questions for me that anybody hasn't asked me in a while? And if you're going to be in Chicago, make sure you look me up. I'll have all kinds of stuff for you guys. I got new buttons. I got
Buttons.
little pixel art now. I got a friend of mine does pixel art, did some pixel stuff. I am sending buku numbers of plush.
No, sir, we have not seen the new Samurai Jack
I
yet.
saw the first one. Oh my
Okay.
God.
I hate you.
So good. The second one's tonight. So,
I hate
from what I
you
hear,
all.
it's the first appearance of the new Aku voice is tonight. So,
Foolish samurai.
foolish samurai.
The passing of a voice actor will not prevent a coup from bringing you to your desperation and doom.
Yep.
feel like I should be sitting on the front steps of a gas station somewhere in the
with a pickle barrel.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. And your name should be Scooter.
Scooter.
And your family tree should be a bush.
Derpy derp derp derp.
I've got a folder full of derpy on TV and art. There's derpy. Yay, derpy. Yeah, that's right. Okay. Maker here.
Pass the big guitar.
Pass the big guitar.
The classic question: if you all had one superpower and you can't cheat and do a multi-powers, what would it be? Toxic Mario.
Telepathy.
Telepathy, he says.
Telepathy. I would have all your secrets, and then you would be a very good politician, because or else.
I don't know. For me, I think it would be super intelligence. Just basically being able to figure anything out.
Being a smarty every day.
Being a smarty every day.
Mm-hmm.
How are you enjoying Skyrim? Yes, I am loving Skyrim almost too much.
And that's in my superpower. If I was going for a superpower, I might go for one that's already part of my talent guide, and that is in the Thieves World books. There was a character called Lalo the Limner, who had the ability that anything he drew, he could bring to life or bring into existence.
Yes, that one. That's a retelling of a Japanese folktale, I think.
Mm-hmm.
The Cursed Inkwell.
Yes.
Yes.
So that might be my. Okay. I need to put bridle on this muffin. No, I probably would hold off on that, Sirrah. Realizing that with great power comes great responsibilities, I would probably be very, very hesitant to bring Patina to life. Or at least I'd put that one out to a vote. So yeah, I guess that would be the question, guys. If I could actually bring Patina to life in the real world, would you think that'd be a good idea or a bad idea?
I think the world's not ready.
Toxic Mario, Dusty, if you shaved your mustache, how long would it take you to grow it back like it is right now? I will never find that out.
I guess we'll never know.
Well, I guess it's like a 1, a 2, a 3, a 3. The world may never know. And who knows that commercial?
Yes.
Smudge does. Her instructor
Smudge
made
does.
it.
Yeah. Courtney Cole, her animation instructor, main instructor in college at CalArts, did that. Cornelius Cole the Third. That's how the world would end.
I don't know, I'm just messing around. Everything's in G.
Well, gee, why?
Gee whiz.
Gee willikers.
In case you guys are wondering, me and Caradorn are trying to get like in sync on what we're playing, and I don't play all that well, so it's like he gets to a key and I screw it up.
Yes, Patina would make things more interesting. That is guaranteed. What do you need?
I will fetch my base.
I'll fetch your base. Okay.
All your base are belong to us.
I made a poor man's shamazine. How do you say that word?
Poor man, poor man.
I don't even know what that instrument is.
It's further up the thing there, past my thing. Oh. No, I don't know what that is, actually.
Oh, you mean that big long guitar that gets played like this? Oh, those things. Yeah, those Japanese guitars.
Shamisen.
Shamisen, that's it.
You have tuned in for the Picardo Blues Hour with the Old Men of Art.
Misatune.
Oh, musical. Brought to you by Burma Shave.
Burma Shave, yes. Things are hard to
When
play.
you're balding, don't rant and rave. Just smear your head with Burma Shave.
That is a really big link.
That is a huge link.
Yeah, it needs a
Wow.
length.
Probably copied from Google search. Yeah.
Yes, it is. So it's all the.
Google plays bad jokes on everybody.
Oh, things are starting to smell so good downstairs.
Nice. I got to get used to some of these things someday. I'll learn how to play these things someday. I have enough of them now. Between 2 basses, a 6-string guitar, 4 of these. Yeah, I'll learn to play music at some point in my life. Or I'll just collect them all and just take all their souls. One or the other.
So you're taking some of those back to.
Well, I'm taking this one to Chicago. So this one's specific for Luna Chicago Blues. So this one's going to Chicago. This one will be for sale in Chicago. And I'm making 3 or 4 to take to BabsCon because that's local. It's easy to get them there. And I'll take 1 to Everfree Northwest. So if you guys want one of these, that's where you'll be able to pick them up. If you actually want me to make one and ship it to you, we can talk.
Mm-hmm. And I've been, based off your Facebook stuff that you've put up, you've been working on some classic motorcycle stuff too recently. It looks like.
Yeah, I've been helping a friend of mine locally who has his own one-man shop, building motors and things like that. And every time he has something heavy he needs done, he calls me over, and, like putting a motor on a motor stand or helping put the wheels on a classic bike he's doing or whatever. So I go over there like once or twice a week just to say hello and give him a hand.
Yeah, cool. I've actually gotten several of them written up. I just need to get the last little bits of art done. I'll pass out the cat's paw, and he's going to lay it all out, and then we're going to put it up on Patreon as a thing that my patrons will be able to download them. Yes, she does.
It's hard to keep these things in tune because when you press the strings a little bit too much, they go out of tune.
Yeah. Yeah, it's its own thing. I think you're hurting people, Dusty.
I'm not hurting anybody
Oh, much.
much.
But
I'm going to get out of the hot seat because we got about half an hour left, and we'll get Caradwin back in the driver's seat so he can take you guys out tonight. So thanks you all for letting me have a few minutes and showing off my work. And we'll see you guys next show. And I'm out.
and make sure you follow Dusty on Facebook,
Facebook,
Twitter,
Dusty_cat, KAT.
Places.
Places.
Blazes.
See ya.
Thank you. Where's my capo?
Your capo?
Capo. Oh, it's actually downstairs on the Rainbow Dash guitar. Well, actually, the one that Ashley signed.
Yes. You need to do a little more checking up and see how Haoshin's doing.
Last I heard, they had gone up to Whitehorse.
Oh,
Yeah, and up in Yukon,
yeah.
and they have like a big rodeo thing that pulls like a couple 100,000 people. The population of the town temporarily triples.
Yeah.
And afterwards, they said, "Okay, we're going to take a break and do our own projects for a little bit."
Mm-hmm.
That's just hearsay.
Yeah.
What be cooking tonight? I am not 100% sure exactly what it is, but I know it involves pork, mushrooms, and cinnamon.
Mm-hmm. It smells amazing. We're upstairs and we can smell it all the way up here.
Deviant Rob, time to rock it, Karen. I'm going to run from you. Oh. I hate this score. Luna Jax, I hate you for making this chord be in it.
Well, he makes it look so effortless too when he plays it.
Yeah.
If you haven't caught any of Luna Jax's
Live
streams, they're amazing.
Yeah, so he does things like take songs completely unformed, just like, I think I'll do something with maybe this chord progression, and a few hours later there's a completed song with the sound stage has been set, and he sings his own harmony and his own chorusing, and and it's mastered, and at say like 320 kilobit AAC, and then it's up on Bandcamp, and
You folks didn't call me on this. I was wearing the wrong glasses.
Blonk, blonk.
I just realized, I'm looking at it. Wait
a minute.
I was looking at reading the text here. I never switched when I got my inspiration.
Can anyone here cook a legit beef Wellington? Yes, well, not me personally, but Brian has.
Yeah.
He's done so several times.
And
he is legit.
Yeah, they are awesome. I mean, heck, that one Burns dinner I went to a couple of years ago, he did the haggis, and it was actually quite. It has this, oh my God, haggis, oh horrible thing. It's like, no, it's a sausage, folks.
Yeah, it's like, oh, but it's got the sheep's stomach, as they munch down on natural casing sausages.
Yeah.
Well, by my calculations, the natural casing sausages are several feet closer to the problem.
Yeah.
So we can get rid of that right there. Let's see. I can make legitimate and illegitimate. That cut of steak is expensive. Riding a muffin and looking like she's enjoying it. Yeah. Lucky muffin! Most expensive meal ever had. That would be at Chef Morimoto's restaurant in Philadelphia. Iron Chef Morimoto operates a restaurant there. And we a bunch of us were at Anthrocon, and they have a room. It's this giant converted brownstone, and they have this room. Say the basement, where they do prix. That's the price fix. It's basically you throw yourself on the mercy of the chef and you eat whatever whatever it is he's cooking tonight. We had our own head waiter, our own sommelier, our own bartender. And it's actually the bartender and I got along really well because I was the only one that was into scotches and whiskeys, and he wanted to serve whiskeys with all the things. Everybody else was like, But it was, again, sushi and other things like that.
Sushi and whiskey.
Sukemono.
That could go, actually.
Yeah, and it was good. It was really good. I'm not sure it's $300 good.
I'd say the best meal that I've...
Cigar dinner.
The cigar dinner at Fault Line Brewery.
That was less. That was $200.
That was one of those memory meals. You folks who follow me on my Equestria Dreamscape, and you comment about my writing of food porn. It's events like that, and there are events in my life that give me the inspirations for my subconscious.
Yeah. There was also a couple of very good meals I had. One of the ones I remember, it was at Morton's at Equestria LA, I think in 2014, 2013, something like that. And there was a bunch of FOB Equestria guys, basically mil-spec bronies, who had never been to a high-end restaurant before, ever, and because an awful lot of folks in the military do come from a background that, one of the reasons they're in the military is because they don't have a lot of financial options otherwise. So Morton's is it's a high-end steakhouse chain. They do really, really good work. And just told all the guys, look, bring a nice shirt or something, and it's like, you don't go in your BDUs, And so we showed up, and I spoke to the maitre d' and said, we got a bunch of newbies here who have not, done this before. One, please forgive us if we do the faux pas and all that. But second, here's your opportunity to teach.
Mm-hmm.
Show us your world.
Mm-hmm.
And he just lit up. It's like, I love showing people new to high-end dining what it's all about. I love that. Thank you for telling me. They gave us a table that was a little bit away from, away from polite company. And again, the waiter and the sommelier and all the others were just they explained what they were doing and why. And we had really good steaks and really good sides. And like, what do you mean there's macaroni and cheese on the menu at a high-end steakhouse? Trust me.
Yeah.
Try it.
It's not craft.
And what's a souffle? Souffle. I heard about those, and it's like, okay, you got to order them now because you have to you have to eat them within a few minutes after they come out of the oven. But we just ordered a bunch of a variety of them, and they also make the best carrot cake on the planet. Carrot cake worth killing people for. And it was about a 3-hour affair, and a little pricey, but we're not worried about that. And afterwards, people just, the eyes are like this big. I was like, oh, this is why you save up. And once in a little while, you and maybe one or two friends or a special somebody or whatever it is, go to a place like this. And again, don't do it too often, even if you can afford it, because otherwise it's not special anymore.
Yep.
And again, it really is a proper indulgence.
Well, it is an art.
Yep.
At that point.
Yep. So probably say yes. You are correct. It is probably time to make the to offer our final thanks of the evening.
Mm-hmm.
How about we say thank you to our sponsor, University Arts, outstanding art store. They have high-end framing. They have an excellent selection of art supplies. They have great people that work for them. Not as many as used to.
No, they don't have me anymore. But they have some excellent people who have filled my shoes.
Right, and they are kind enough to offer Baron some support here, so we are grateful to say thank you to them. Mm-hmm. And again, I do get all of my framing of artwork done there. So if you have a seriously good piece of work that needs to have museum quality, framing, you go there.
Mm-hmm.
They will do it right.
And they've got some good people at the frame counter now who have taken
Right.
over my position now that I've moved on.
Yeah.
And it's good that they have multiple framers because they had a shortage there for a while. They were kind of tightly and thinly spread, and they didn't have enough people to really cover. And they've brought in several new folks that they have their heads screwed on, and they're artists themselves. They love the arts and they love framing.
Right. Oh, that's right. And you have an event coming up with them.
That's right, June 3rd. If you happen to be in the San Jose area, the San Jose University Art is going to be doing their art trade fair. And they have graciously asked me to come and speak, and I will be doing that. I'm going to be doing color pencil.
Mm-hmm. So if you want to see this happen live, that's the time and place to do it.
Mm-hmm.
We'll tell you guys more about it again when the date gets closer.
And then we'll have a couple streams before then, so we'll have a chance, at least a couple streams before then, before we get a chance to tell you what's going on.
So, sushi, sashimi, or neither? No, both.
Yeah.
Both, absolutely. Actually, there is a pretty good sushi joint right across the street from where Baron lives.
Katanas.
Yeah, Katanas. That is, say that it's affordable, and the food's really good. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not like Chef Morimoto good, but it costs 1/20th what Morimoto's does.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, their nagi, their barbecued eel is awesome.
Oh, I've always been a big fan of unagi. My favorite sushi is anything with tobiko, little tiny orange fishy ball bearings.
Yes.
Which hours later you're still digging them out of your cheek.
Yeah.
Yeah, and again a really really good sashimi.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm not really worried about raw meats as long as I know their provenance and where it's come from.
And they've been prepared well and clean.
I would not eat raw wild pork or wild venison. Good way to get trichinosis. But from the domestic supply, would I eat steak tartare? Yes, I have. Once in a while when I'm making a roast, is basically as long as you're eating it from a surface that you've just cut, that has not been exposed to the air for a while.
Mm-hmm.
There's not. Again, you take the end off, and you do whatever it is. Then you immediately off your steak take a thin slice of whatever the cut is.
Mm-hmm.
Sprinkle just a tiny bit of salt on it. Yeah, when I say thin slice, I mean 1/8 of an inch or thinner. Sprinkle a tiny bit of salt on it, and then nom 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 nom.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I understand why people might be a little bit put off by that, but I like it.
Well, it's like the whole thing tonight with the egg white. It's all a matter of
Handle it well.
handle it well. Think about what you're doing before you do this.
Most expensive restaurant in Orange, California is called The Hobbit. 9-month waiting list to get in.
Yep.
Yeah, we have a very famous restaurant. Well, that's the Bay Area. We got tons of famous restaurants. But the one that everybody talks about, at least in the general press, is the French Laundry.
Or Maurice's in Los Gatos Street. But the French Laundry is the one. In fact, when they made the movie Ratatouille, they sent the animation crew out to the French Laundry, and they actually worked at the laundry for about a month. They bussed and washed things and chopped the vegetables and watched how they actually did it. So when you see Ratatouille, that's kind of how you go about doing stuff. And some of the little things that they're talking about, going, you can't, you have to bribe the vegetable, the produce seller and everything to get the best stuff. Well, that's true.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's a lot of other good places. If you're ever in Las Vegas and you would like a good, high-end restaurant that's not going to cost you $500, the Buccaneer Bay Club in Treasure Island.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so again, it's not going to be cheap. You're going to spend close to a Benjamin for each person, but it's really, really good, and you can see the the cannon and pirate stunt show. That's in front and all that. And again, order a souffle. I like the Grand Marnier. I recommend it. And again, they They do really good seafood and and excellent steaks. So.
But speaking of seafood and good and out of town, I don't know if it's still around, but when we used to go up for Conifer Northwest, when it was in Tacoma, and it was in the Hyatt there, on the very, very top floor there was a restaurant up there that was run by, actually, it was started by a guy who'd done a whole lot of starting restaurants in the SeaTac area, and it was a seafood restaurant. And the funny thing was that the prices were not that far off from what you were just paying the regular hotel restaurant. And quite often, Smudge and I could do more than enough sketches in the course of a day that we could go up there and eat every night. And it was this really wonderful seafood, and you had this beautiful view. You're at the very top of the hotel, so you could see.
Yeah, secondary marketplaces can be like that.
Yeah, and I remember we showed up the last year that they were up there, and we went up to have dinner, and we were talking to and the waiter and waitresses actually recognized us because we've been going there for years now. And we were asking, how's the chef? Oh, well, we have a new chef. The sous chef is actually taken over. He's the head chef. The founder of the restaurant had actually gotten headhunted away from his own restaurant to start another one in Seattle.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like the guy that did our cigar dinners at...
Yes.
Yeah, went off and started his own restaurant in Woodside.
Yeah.
So the question now is, what would be the second career? It would certainly not be food critic for me, because I am not sufficiently knowledgeable, and I'm not sufficiently critical.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm already actually working on that answer, and the answer is game designer.
Yeah, or food critic. Yeah, I would, if I went as a second career, I wouldn't go into food. It would make me
hate food.
Yes.
Okay, so that's a rough industry.
Yeah, it what I do in my kitchen at home and what I cook for my friends, that's one thing. Running a food establishment is a really, really tough row to hoe.
Yeah.
And
all the margins are tiny. You have labor problems all the time. You have compliance problems all the time.
Well, also too, I mean, in fact, I sometimes work 7 days a week doing art, but I don't have to get up at 5:30 in the morning or 4:30 in the morning to be down there to start prepping stuff and not be there until 11 o'clock at night cleaning up to do it all over again.
Yeah.
It's a rough business.
Yeah.
And anyone who has a passion and a love for it after doing it for quite a number of years, power to them.
Yep.
There was one time when I thought I was going to be a fishing guide, actually.
Yeah. Well, say for a while you were a pack mule, and you were actually sort of doing fishing guide stuff in the southern Sierra.
Yes, I did.
Lake Isabella area?
Yeah, up that. Also, a lot of Kings Canyon and Sequoia National Park. Did a lot of that work, and yeah, did some stuff where, showed people, go here, do this, try that, try this fly, you'll get better luck with that, this time of the year. I actually did fly tying, did a lot of work.
Anyhow, yeah, we go until about 9:30.
Yep.
Yeah, if you're on a family-owned farm, then as soon as you're old enough that your parents think so, yes, you can operate big farm machinery. It's legal.
Yeah.
Farms have a lot of exemptions to a lot of weird laws.
That's why they're not covered under OSHA. If OSHA covered agriculture, it would be the most dangerous profession in the United States. The funny thing is, for the longest time, graphic artists used to be one of the most dangerous because of all the chemicals they worked with. Ugh.
Oh, God, it's been years since I've been fishing much. There's ocean fishing, quite a bit of that actually. But the good, say if you want good fishing, you end up in the Sierra Nevada.
Yeah.
If you like salmon fishing, you go up into Northern California, rivers like the Trinity and the Russian and all that, and you can catch wild salmon in season. But trout fishing trout fishing is good in the Sierra. Bass fishing is good in the San Joaquin Sacramento River Delta.
Yeah. Unfortunately, a lot of the good reservoirs in our area got seriously hammered by the 6-year drought, and they're starting to bounce back. But apparently, St. Louis Reservoir never lost their striped bass population. And if things keep holding up well, and if we get another good rainy season, I may get back into freshwater fishing. Saltwater fishing has got so many regulations, and there's zones that you can do something in this area but not in that area, and a little more paperwork than I want to get back into right now.
Yeah. Yeah, biggest fish I ever caught was a 24-inch German brown trout.
Biggest thing.
That was quite a fish.
Biggest thing I ever caught was a 5-foot 6-gill shark. That was the coldest I ever was in my entire life, and that was a January underneath the Golden Gate Bridge at 3 in the morning on a boat. And the wind was howling, and I was wearing long johns and sweats and sweater and shirt and a parka, and I had overall waders on so I wouldn't get wet, and I was still two pairs of wool socks, and I was still freezing. The wind just sucked all the heat right out of you. It was all that humidity and moisture. Like, it was lots of fun because there wasn't that much room in the back of the boat when you hold that thing shark in. I was like, okay, deck crews, go to work.
Yep. Weirdest type of fishing I ever did was basically smearing bacon on my fingers, sticking my hand in the water, waiting for catfish to come up and bite my fingers, and I pull them out of the water, still grabbing hold of my finger because they were so greedy they wouldn't let go. You just hold them over the bucket and wait till they go, because they're out of the water, and they just fall right in.
It wouldn't really count as fishing, at least in the traditional sense, but I did do frog gigging once.
Yep.
So I have a frog gigging pole.
Yep. Yep. Yeah. Noodling. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I say. Yeah. And it was. That was a bunch of pretty good sized bullhead in a Sierra lake. They occasionally have to clear the lake out. They put chemical. They kills off all the fish. Then they reintroduce the native species, and then somehow the bullheads get back.
Yep.
So about every 20 years they clean it out.
Yeah. I did both fly fishing and traditional rod and reel. I did spinning. I did bait casting. I did fly. Didn't do a huge amount of fly fishing.
I did when I was about 15. I tied my own flies too.
Yeah, same here. Well, back when I was in these, all you wanted flies, you tied them.
Yeah.
You couldn't buy them pre-made.
Not decent ones.
No,
Yeah.
all the crummy, and the hackles were always munched up, and they wouldn't float right in the water. I had used to use a number 6 double-ended line, and I had a Fenwick graphite rod, and I had actually a very nice little Orvis reel for my fly rig. Caught everything from bluegill to small saltwater.
We have an Orvis store right next to where I work.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, it's gotten so expensive.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I get 15% off of too much.
Mm-hmm. Well, we are approaching 9:26. We should probably switch over here and start wrapping things up for the evening. I think we got derpy here.
Yeah.
This is one of the more surreal things I've drawn in recent times.
Yeah. Oh, dynamite fishing. I used to go depth bombing carp when I was about 12. Take a cherry bomb, swizzle it in Elmer's glue, let it get really tacky, roll it in BBs. See, cherry bombs are waterproof.
Yep.
And they wanted the carp the heck out of the Carson River, which is where I lived at the time. It was Nevada. You can blow anything up you want. And I say we go death bomb them, you know, and splunk and all the fish fly away, go boom.
Yeah.
Until one day, just one bend in the river, there's the fish, and there's this one big sucker. It's like, I swear he would come up, and if he had middle fingers, he would have been giving it to us. And then I go, shoot, and he comes up and he goes, and I'm like, and then we see him going, oh crap, it's burning, and then
Chum.
Yeah,
Jaws.
I was a mean little kid. Yeah, but crawdad, catching them by hand, that's fun. It's fishy but fun.
Oh yes,
Constantly.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
There was some places where I would go fly fishing where they were what called catch and release. You had to use barbless hooks, and you had to, as much as possible, go pop and just drop the fish back in the water, and away they went. But no, there, especially up in the Sierras, there was back in the 80s. There was a lot of streams you could just go up, wake up in the morning, take care of your first minute morning business, go over, start the fire, get it going, have someone keep an eye on that so we don't burn down the forest. Grab your rod, go down to the stream. Someone would start making biscuits, and about 40 minutes I'd come walking up, and I'd have fish for everybody. We'd fry fish. And
Walker River, just on the other side of the Sierra, was like that.
Yeah, and fried fish in the morning with fresh biscuits, and someone else would go out and catch, or not catch, but collect wild blackberries, and we'd have that with like condensed milk poured over it, because we'd take a can of condensed milk with us. Yeah. And that was breakfast, and it was wonderful. I imagine. Yeah. And then you packed up and you burned off another 3,000 calories hiking to the next location.
Lake Castaic is way down south in Southern California, so I don't know. So I imagine it's filling up nicely.
It's one of the areas that they've been having some. It's this area that all of California's like, well, we're at 100%, we're at 120%. Our reservoir is at 100%. And they're going like, we're at like 68, but I think they're up to like 70 something now.
Yeah. All right. So it being 9:30, it is just about that time. All right. So next show, 2 weeks, regular schedule.
We're doing it on April Fool's Day, folks.
So yeah. So are you going to do at least one request?
Oh, next April Fool's? Oh yes. So okay, folks, we're going to do some requests on April Fool's.
The sillier the better.
Sillier the better. Think about it. Just keep it safe for work. That's the only requirement. We're going to do that for certain. At the moment, it looks like we'll probably do this the following Saturday after that is definitely going to be in our stream, because the 15th, of course, is going to be BabsCon, and I'm going to be at the convention, so I can't do a stream.
And I'll see a bunch of you there.
Yes, you'll see me there. We're going to have the Roan panel, and we're going to be having a great time there. As always, I want to thank all of my patron supporters. It's through your help that this happens. And we're now, I say, this May, my second year as a full-time professional artist, and you are one of the reasons why that's happening. If you're not a patron,
you should be.
You should be, but I mean, only $1 a month. If you can't, that's understandable.
Linky down there.
Yep. There's also a thing down there. You say, hey, I can't, pledge every month, but there's like a buck I'd like to throw to you or something like that. There's a tip jar. That's cool.
Go Baron tipping.
Yep. Some of the stuff that I drew here tonight is going to be going up on the Smudge Marks and Engel Works eShop. There's going to be a whole bunch of new work that's going to be going up. New work, or at least work that's been already posted on DeviantArt but hasn't been posted to the store yet. That is going to be going up soon, so take a look there. And we'll see you all in 2 weeks.
Catch you later,
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah. Go bother Toxic. He's fun.
Yeah, go bother Toxic. He does wonderful streaming.
Bye-bye.
Good night.